You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up with the news for this Saturday, January 25, 2025. Motor vehicle accident on Saturday in St. Elizabeth claims 2 lives. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness wants better management of local healthcare workers so that they'll stay in Jamaica. MP for Eastern St. Thomas, the GLP's Dr. Michelle Charles, is the person most constituents want to represent the party in the next general election. In news on the international scene, Trump fires at least a dozen government watchdogs, while in sport, 20 wickets fell on the opening day of the second test between the West Indies and Pakistan at Bolton Cricket Stadium. The details after this. Two people died as a result of injuries they sustained in a crash on the Hodges Main Road in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. Dead are Gary Berry, a resident of Crawford District, and Andrea Walters, a resident of Plumpton District, both in St. Elizabeth. Police reports are about 12:05 p.m. Berry was driving his motorcycle towards Black River when a Toyota Voxy taxi turned into his path to enter Hodges subdivision. The motorcycle crashed into the side of the taxi before bursting into flames. Berry and Walters were rushed to hospital where they were pronounced dead. The driver of the taxi has since been taken into police custody and has been warned for protection. Meanwhile, Berry's brother Courtney Berry said his sibling was going to withdraw his pay at an ABM in Black River when the crash happened.
Nice, brother. Anything we can call for do. I have nobody else to call because I have no mother and father. I have nobody else to call like that because I have a key to your house, so I'm going anytime, come out anytime you feel like. You understand? Just like last time I go in, I see him chair just lying on that bed, my mom and son asleep. We get up this morning, I went to who got a work, who got a different friend party. I have to get up this morning, I know some brother dead. Go to call some brother dead. If say I go to the machine to jar him pay because normally he work with some company or whatever. You understand? So now he go down there and go to the machine like a Friday day. Friday evening, take care of finance and himself and everything, you know?
That's Courtney Berry, the brother of Gary Berry, who died in a collision in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. Berry's cousin Godfrey Cameron described his relative as a hard worker.
Look out for them family the same way. Every day man they get up and work with them. Every day them man. Right now, I'm brother, drive the car there. Right, the brother man at the hospital just now. You understand? And him said, I'm here to come up.
That's Godfrey Cameron, cousin of Gary Berry, who died in a collision in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. Walter's relatives gathered at the hospital consoling each other but opted not to speak with the media. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the country must improve its management of local talent in order to convince more healthcare workers that they'll be better off at home than abroad. Speaking at the launch of the Health and Wellness Ministry's Career Expo and Employment Fair on Wednesday, the Prime Minister noted that migration of healthcare workers has had an impact on the country's ability to develop.
We are going to experience shocks as it relates to migration, and we have to be prepared for that. We are not going to be on our knees, groveling, fearful of what is the future. No, what we do is plan transformational actions like this. I want to point out to this audience, in 2023, 800 nurses left our system. 800 nurses left the Jamaican healthcare system, 40% of whom were specialists, highly trained nurses. And that number is not likely to decline because our nurses are not going through the border, as they say. They are going through a formal system. This issue of migration has an impact on our ability to grow.
Thousands of Jamaicans, including high school students, turned up at the UWI Mona on Wednesday as the Health Ministry's Career and Employment Fair got underway. The two-day career expo and employment fair is expected to recruit persons to fill vacancies for more than 600 jobs in the health sector. According to the Prime Minister, Jamaica has continued to be a net exporter of local talent. He says there must now be a focus on managing local talent so that it benefits the country internally.
We must now manage this talent in a way that we also get the benefit of our well-skilled labor force that is migrating. The jobs that are opened here are opened to anyone who wants to come and work here, and we are hoping that some of our nurses abroad and health professionals abroad will consider coming back. Yes, and we tend to look at this as this is impossible. Nobody will ever do that. The truth is that there are some persons who would like to come back because it is not all about pay.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, he says one strategy is to improve human resources within the health sector, and that strategy is to invest in expanding local training programs. Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, the JLP's Dr. Michelle Charles, is the person most constituents want to represent the party in the seat at the next general election. This amid whispers that she was unpopular among Labourites in the constituency and that the party intended to replace her ahead of the next general election. The JLP recently sounded out its supporters across 4 divisions in the constituency: Dalby, Morant Bay, Portmorant and Bath. They were asked to answer a simple yes or no to the question, would you support Dr. Michelle Charles as JLP candidate in the next general election? In Dalby, 61 persons said yes, 24 said no. In Morant Bay, 119 said yes, 18 said no. In Portmorant, 55 said yes, 24 said no. And in Bath, 40 said yes, 2 said no. Overall, Dr. Charles, a first-term MP, received 275 yes votes against 68 no votes. She says she is grateful for the endorsement from constituents.
My East St. Thomas family, I am deeply overwhelmed and humbled by the incredible support my team has shown me. This decisive victory is not just mine. It belongs to you, my workers, and the people of Eastern St. Thomas. Your votes have sent a resounding message to the Jamaica Labour Party that Eastern St. Thomas is steadfast in its vision for growth and development, with me as your Member of Parliament and the candidate for the next general election.
Dr. Michelle Charles, MP for Eastern St. Thomas. In September 2020, Dr. Charles ended Dr. Fenton Ferguson's 27-year hold on the seat, beating the PMP veteran in that general election. And now to news on the international scene. The Trump administration has fired at least a dozen federal watchdogs late on Friday evening, a possibly illegal move that could face court challenges. Speaking from the Senate floor on Saturday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer described the watchdog firings as a chilling purge. These firings are Donald Trump's way of telling us he is terrified of accountability and is hostile to the facts and to transparency, said Schumer, a Democrat from New York. The White House has not confirmed the firings and did not respond to the BBC's request for comment. Affected inspectors general were sent emails from the Director of Presidential Personnel overnight on Friday telling them that due to changing priorities, your position as Inspector General is terminated effective immediately, according to CBS News, the BBC's US partner. The group of dismissed watchdogs includes the Inspector General for the Department of Health and Human Services and the Inspector General of the Small Business Administration, CBS said. And now to sport. 20 wickets fell on the opening day of the second test between the West Indies and Pakistan at Multan Cricket Stadium. Batting first, the Windies were bowled out for 163. Gudakesh Moti top scored with 55, Jomel Warikan made 36, not out, and Kemar Roach 25. Norman Ali took 6 for 41 and Sajid Khan 2 for 64. In reply, Pakistan were bowled out for 154, Mohammad Rizwan made 49 and Saud Shakil 32. Warikan finished with figures of 4 for 43, Moti 3 for 49 and Roach 2 for 15. West Indies bowling coach James Franklin says the Caribbean team, he said that they recovered from a poor start.
Today's performance, I think, was a fighting performance from us as a group. Obviously, we were under pressure in that first hour, losing quite a few wickets, but then to put on, I think, about 100 for the last couple of wickets. It was amazing rearguard fight from our tail enders. We saw a little bit of that in the last test as well. So then to get us to a score where we felt we could compete with the ball and put some pressure back onto Pakistan was great, and obviously that's how it sort of eventuated through the day. To watch 20 wickets fall on day one in a test is a very rare occurrence, so the game has certainly sped up very fast.
James Franklin. From teenage prodigy to tour stalwart with gnarly injuries, Madison Keys' road to Grand Slam glory has been long and complicated. The newly crowned Australian Open champion broke through on the WTA Tour when she was just 14 and was instantly tipped as a future major winner. Now, a few weeks before her 30th birthday, the American has finally achieved her goal. Keys capped an impressive run at Melbourne Park with a shock win over two-time defending champion Aryna Sabalenka in Saturday's final.
Firstly, Aryna, unbelievable playing. I'm glad I finally got you back. But unbelievable tennis. You're always so tough to play, and we always have the craziest matches. So congratulations to you and your team for another amazing Grand Slam run. Thank you to everyone who came out and cheered the last 2 weeks. I always feel so at home here. I made my very first Grand Slam semifinal here in Melbourne. So to now have won my first Grand Slam in the same place means the absolute world to me.
That's Madison Keys. And now for a recap of the top stories making nationwide news at 5. Motor vehicle accident claims 2 lives in St. Elizabeth. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness wants better management of local healthcare workers so that they'll stay in Jamaica. MP for Eastern St. Thomas, the GOP's Dr. Michelle Charles, is the person most constituents want to represent the party in the next general election. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because coming up next we have Sports Nation Live with Wayne Walker and Alric Swiby.
To Marshall's Pharmacy today for your free medication management consultation. Let us guide you in taking care of what matters most, the health of you and your family. Shop now for gifts, personal care, household and stationery items, plus print services powered by Print Corner. Follow us on Instagram at Marshall's Pharmacy. Call or WhatsApp us at 876-491-7841. We are open late every day to serve you.
For over 30 years, Chris and Charles has been financing your goals, dreams, creating your great moments. Celebrate the occasion with us. Borrow $1 million, pay less than $25,000 monthly, and get 30% off your processing fees. No guarantor needed. Call 876-920-4189 or WhatsApp 876-838-9028. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Enough power tool, big to small. Chaka my figure dig the wall. Our Total Tools. Beat back a figure trim the lawn. We have everything your job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston, and Lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, January 25, 2025. If you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Swiby. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. Now coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking track and field, netball, swimming, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9 verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, you just had to be there. We relive Usain Bolt winning the men's 200 meters final at the London Diamond League in 2016.
Set. Safely away this time, and Bolt is into his stride, has started pretty quickly, is chasing down Edward. He's run a very good bend here. Lemaitre trying to get back into this, but Usain Bolt leading in the minute, Jamili in about third. Talbot won a good bend, but Bolt has got 2 metre lead. Edward is coming back at him. Bolt fighting hard. He's got clear air and he wins it. 1990. The win for Bolt. He's back in business. It wasn't super fast, but it was good enough tonight to beat a pretty good field, and it was certainly good enough to please a very big crowd. And for Usain Bolt, a confidence booster that will just send a little bit of a message to say 1989, okay, by his standards that's not really that fast, but let's face it, there still aren't many people in the world can do that, can run under 20 seconds. And if he's healthy, and he's undoubtedly Colin going to improve and get quicker by the time we get to Rio. He doesn't look too happy at the minute, does he? But I'm sure he'll be happy to get that under his belt. They've got the win and a pretty solid time.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy in the sense that that race is out of the way, it's out of the system. So first time is a really strong performance for me. To go under 20 seconds is great. To go under 19.90 is good.
400 yards.
Fifth fastest in the world this year, your first competitive 200 metres. Rio's 3 weeks away, the athletics programme starts. Are you in shape?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm not fully in shape. I need more work, but over time, I'll be fine. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to work.
Was the approach you saying a little bit tentative on the curve, or did you really go for the curve? Because it looked like you really exploded off the curve.
Yeah, I tried to go for the curve, but I said, I don't think I executed well. The start kind of cooled us up a little bit, but the key thing is I came out injury-free, so I'm happy about that.
It looked smooth. Your execution off the bend looked amazing. Start looked better. Your start looked actually pretty good. A little tentative on the curve, I thought, but other than that, I think it looked good, so I approve.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
I know you love this stadium. You love coming here. Does it feel as special as ever to come back to London?
Yeah, it's always great. It's a lot of fun. The energy is always great here. That's why I love it, so I'm happy.
And you're hungry as ever?
Always hungry.
Great to have you here, Usain. I'm going to let you go do your lap of honour. Maybe we'll catch up with you a little bit later on when he catches his breath back. Usain Bolt, as always, giving the crowd here something to cheer about, and a performance that he seems moderately happy with, Michael.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relived Usain Bolt winning the men's 200 meters final at London Diamond League in 2016. With that, we'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Start your fitness journey today and make 2025 your healthiest yet with Express Fitness. State-of-the-art equipment, expert trainers, and encouraging community are here to support you every step of the way. Join now and take the first step towards a stronger, happier you. Express Fitness, starting at only $9,500 per month with 11 locations island-wide. Your gym for all your needs. Visit www.expressfitnessja.com to sign up today.
Get better paying jobs overseas and locally with City & Guilds International Skills Certificates at IIRQ Academy. In 2 to 3 months, get qualified in welding, fabrication and pipework, carpentry, construction, painting and decoration, and plant maintenance. No subjects required, no age limits, no entrance test. Register this week and get 2 subjects for free. Online face-to-face evening and Saturday classes begin very soon. Starting soon at IIRQ, 9 to 18 months, advanced diplomas and associate degrees in motor vehicle repairs, electrical and electronic engineering, and logistics supply chain management. Call us at 876-322-4029. Visit us at 32 Hope Road, Kingston, 1 Perry Road, Montego Bay.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jack and my figure dig the wall. Our total tools. Beat back a figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Do you remember this?
We're having an earthquake. Oh God.
Don't worry, we never forget it. But in all seriousness, earthquakes are deemed the most dangerous natural disaster. We can never predict when one will hit our lovely Jamaica. But we can raise awareness and help you to prepare for one with our radio segment known as Seismic Dialogue. Tune in to the Seismic Dialogue every Monday at 7 p.m. during Nationwide at 5. We'll have discussions, listener interactions, and more. That's the Seismic Dialogue. Mondays at 7 p.m. during Nationwide at 5. Preparedness is key. Secure what matters, have a plan, and remain calm when the ground shakes. Brought to you by Digital Commodities, Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited, Coast to Coast Concrete Company Limited, and the Real Estate Board.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Swibe, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. Now we go over to the National Stadium where Wayne Walker will give us his first report. Wayne, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Alric. Hope you're having a good afternoon.
So far, so good.
Well, we're here at the 23rd staging of the Queen's Grace Jackson track and field meet at the National Stadium. And the people that, I suppose most of the people are here, only the grandstand is open. Most of the people are here to see Sherika Jackson and the likes of Shante Moore and so on. They will be in action in a short while from now. And we're just going to, in the meantime, give you a quick report on what has happened so far. We're looking for our guests at the moment. We're seeing our guests, but are just not seeing us. And so I'm hoping that by just a hand signal, she's able to see where I'm standing. That's Olive Norton, the head cook and bottle washer. Yari! Head cook and bottle washer, if you like. Now she's seeing us. No, I'm no longer distracted, so I can go straight into my report. All right. So I think we're going to have Sherika Jackson in this opening 60 meters? If so, let's see who could just give you a quick synopsis of how she does. She's going to take an opportunity to watch the 60 meters where Sherika Jackson, well, she's not in this one, so we can give you the update. Olive!
Okay, so they have it. Wayne Walker out by the National Stadium for the Queen's Grace Jackson track and field meet is trying to get the attention of the chairman of the organizing committee, Olive McNaughton, just to give us as to what's been happening over the course of the day. The competition started at 8 o'clock this morning and it's expected to run until about 6:30. So let's rejoin Wayne.
Thank you very much, Alice. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking to Olive Norton, but I can tell you, I'm standing beside her, and I can hear her talking to somebody on the phone, and she's asking why that race went off so early. They unexpected to have the 60 meters go off because the first one just went off. While she recomposes herself, let me just give you an update on what's going to happen. In fact, people like Amoy Brown, Sherika Jackson, Crystal Flowley, Janelle Smith, remember her? There's also Julian Williams and Anthony Strong, who are supposed to be running as well. Well, Olive is coming my way now, so let me see if I could get a quick chat with her. Olive, you're clearly not happy with something. Not sure if you want to share it with us on air. What was it?
Just you know, it was at the 60 meters, we scheduled for 5:30. So I just wanted to ensure that we go according to schedule. As you know, we in international.
Yes, the schedule is important.
It's important to run on schedule. You know, the athletes are important. So once they're out there, we want them to make sure they don't get cold. But if we're scheduled for 5:30, we want to ensure that we run the race at the scheduled time.
All right, so Sherika Jackson is scheduled to run at 5:34. Will that go?
That's it. I'm trying to get the start list. So I'm going to go to the call room to ensure that she is here running. But from what it looks like, Sherika is scheduled to run at 5:34.
What about Toby Amundsen, who was announced?
Well, initially she was registered to run, and you know, for coaches, it is important if an athlete is feeling something early season. It is good to pull them out of an event. So she was initially registered to compete. And we were really looking forward to all the 100 meters hurdles record holder competing with our 200 meter champion, but her coaches decided to pull her from the 60 meters today.
When did you hear that? Today?
I heard it on yesterday.
Yesterday. Maybe that they should have announced it because people are coming here to see her as well. So maybe that would have been a nice thing.
All right, thank you very much. You know, we're in your experience.
Yes.
But us media that contacted me were advised.
Okay. Well, it is your responsibility to send it to other media, not just for them, to those who contact you. What's happening? What's happening here in terms of an overview of what's happening so far?
Well, Wayne, this is the 23rd staging. We're happy today to have the meet because due to many challenges, up to 2 weeks ago, the National Stadium was under repair, and so we had to be monitoring it carefully. Plus, to get sponsors from inside the National Stadium is a lot. And so there are lots of it. When we did 23 years ago, I'm surprised. I just took up at the co-chair just 6 weeks ago, and just the cost and expenses that have now in the last 6 weeks that I'm finding out you have to be paying to host a meeting in the National Stadium. It's tremendous. So it's probably not going to make much sense going forward to do it in the stadium because it's too much money.
But it's not here where?
Only we could possibly go to JC. I spoke to two of the coaches, senior coaches, and they don't mind going to JC to have the meet because the amount of the KCC license for every 10 we put up, we have to pay for it. The ODPM, we have to pay insurance. We have to do so many things that we never did 5 years. But of course, you're protecting the spectators as well as the athletes. But the cost to host the meeting in the National Stadium is actually tremendous.
And so I've been hearing right around the country, up and down the country, meet organizers are not complaining how much difficult it's getting to find people to put their money on meet like these.
it is hard, but we have a relationship with some of us. Really, we think Rainbow Awnings, IPL came on. IPL Sports Development Coordination came on board because a lot of our senior athletes and the high school athletes do play their part.
Sure.
We'd love to see the gateways and possibly ISA also playing on their part because this is a qualifying for ISA and to ISA Boys and Girls Camp. So we're going to plead to them next year to help us and the gateway because we need to rent the equipment. Cost quite a bit. But we are here, it's a beautiful day in Kingston and we're happy to have Sharika back on track. What happened at Olympics. So it's a joy to see her.
We don't know what happened at the Olympics. Well, no, we don't know.
She didn't compete.
That's clear to see, but we don't know anything else.
Right.
So, Olive, how much does it cost to rent the stadium itself? Just the raw?
I'm not going to. For turn on the lights, but they don't have new things. It's on 100,000 per hour. Per hour? An hour. For all the towers.
Okay. How many hours are you going to be using it for?
We're only paid for 1 hour. But fortunately, we're running on time. Ahead of time. Actually, we have the 6 meters scheduled for 5:30, and we're going to be running it at 5:30.
All right. I want to let you go because you're in charge of the whole thing. The spectator turnout, are you okay with it?
No, we're a little disappointed with the spectator turnout. There was some challenge because we weren't sure whether we're going to have it at the stadium because unless we could have done more marketing and promotion. So we're hoping that we can do that. As I said, we took it up. We couldn't decide whether we're going to have it or not. So we just want to next time do more marketing, ask the media to come on board to help us in terms of promoting the meet. And so because, as I said, we decided to do it. I came on board as the co-chair. I haven't done it for 20 years. I gave it up. So to come back and just ensure that we have the meeting of Grace Jackson here, our patron, who's on the island, she came from King that she's here. And so we're making an effort to continue the legacy of being the last corporate school that won Girls Camp. And also, honoring our Olympian, Daniel Williams also who heard his champion Tuesday. So we're happy to have them.
I think Shirta coming to this one.
Yes, sir.
Right. Before you go, whenever you're doing the promotion next year, get that started with a Freedom Street.
Well, Freedom Street, I think I heard almost never had it in the stadium. But thankfully, Independence Park worked seriously to get the track ready for the last Saturday in January.
All right, Olive, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Owen, for coming. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Olive McNaughton, who is in charge of the meet here at the National Stadium, the Queen's Grace Jackson meet. She mentioned about the sponsorship. A lot of meets have been complaining about the same thing. Well, I can tell you that Shirta Jackson is on her mark at the minute. Featuring the world's 200-meter champion and the unquestionable number one in that event over the last couple of years. So Shirta very well. Ashanti Moore also over there. And Moy Brown and front. That's Shirta Jackson. She's for the top. Look at Jolene Williams. It looks like Jolene Williams. Let's confirm that. It looks as if Jolene Williams got the rest of Shirta Jackson. Quite a number of people running towards Shirta. We're yet to confirm who got that one. But Jolene, it is Jolene Williams who got it. Princess. And her time, they're trying to get the time correct, but Jolene Williams of Princess 7.15. Jolene, Shirta Jackson 7.36 was second. 7.18 was for Shirta Jackson, and third was Juliet of NPC. And we think to get her time, but it was Jolene 7.41. So Shirta Jackson's time was 7.18, 7.41 for Janelle, and Jolene won in 7.15. So that's a big 60 meters that people were anticipating. And so Shirta Jackson opening her season just like most of the MVP sprinters. They opened their season running in the shorter event, the 60 meter sprint. We saw Christian winning today in Poland. He grimaced when he hit the wall and came back. Not sure how or if he's injured, but we saw him grimace when he came across the line and hit the wall. And then, of course, Sia Clayton was also a winner in her event, also in Poland as well. So we were hoping to get a chat from Shirta Jackson, but she's quickly gone across to, I think we could get something from her because she's she's standing and giving, well, she's been surrounded by some students. So let's see how possible it is to get a word from her. If it can't happen, then that is how it is with the MVP people. In their early season, they choose or tend not to talk to the media. And as I mentioned, she's thrown her fights away, and she's going to do her warm-up, warm down. So we won't be hearing from Shirley Jack. So I was hoping that we would get something from her, but she's gone away and left the media stranded. But it was good to see her back on the track. Her last race was July 1 in Hungary, and the whole fussle that surrounded her participation or non-participation at the Olympics in Paris, France last October. So Daniel Hughes and the likes of Zandian Barnes and Rashid McDonald, they're also going to be in action here as well in the 60 meters. As you heard, Olive McNaughton said they only rented the lights for 1 hour, so they're hoping to get out of here by the latest 5:54. And as she said, they are on target at the moment for doing so. Another 60 meters is on the way, but only 3 people are in it. So I hope I can do Tracy just now, and he's going to be running as well as Daniel Hughes. And if we could just hold on a little to see if we could get those races in, because they are running very, very quickly. And Kareem Riley, 6.73 was the winner of that 60 meters, and second was Shamar Horatio, and he did 6.88, and third, Idiosi, 7.04 was his time. So the first one is out of the way. I think we have about 3 to go. So let's just hold on a bit to see if we could get in those 3 because they're coming very, very quick. In fact, Sharika Jackson has disappeared off site, and the entire media waiting, hoping to get something from her. Not surprised that we didn't. We continue with the meet, so there are about 3 or 4 more to go in the 60 meters, and then they're going to be out of here. I think they might not be paying for the lights, because the lights are not yet on, and they're moving so quickly. You get the impression that they want to avoid having to pay that extra $100,000 per hour for the towers inside the stadium, all 4 towers. None of them are on as yet. I'm not sure if they're going to still be built for it, the fact that they've already paid for it, or they've agreed to use it, but that's for them to work out. The next 60 meters on track. We've not gotten a start sheet or anything, so we're not sure. In fact, let me check my monitor here to see if we've got a start sheet. We should, but as I said, they're running the meet so fast before nightfall. I think this one has 4 in it, and I'm not sure. So man in lane 7. Let's see who that is. It's still in a short while. As I say, we're not sure we have the start sheet. Harley Richard of UA Mona, 6.86 was the winner for that one. That was the second 60 meters, Fortis Farm. Second place, Romario McIntosh, 6.95, and third, Yannick Kick, 7.30 fifth time. Alright, so we've got just about 2 or 3 more to go, and those are going to be the final events in the meet. And in the meantime, let me just give you some more results, because we did look at some of the result sheets. In fact, the 200 meters class 1 boys, there were 8 rounds, and Marcus Smith of Kingston College, 21.71 seconds was the fastest over the 8. In fact, the second fastest came in the same heat. Nathaniel Martin of Jamaica College did 21.75. And the senior men's triple jump, Michael Andre Matthew Edwards from JP did 15 meters 6 to 6. And we're talking about the triple jump. We just saw Jaden Hibbert ran past us. So quite a number of big names are here. Even if they're not participating, they're here. And the 4x400 meters for Open Girls, Immaculate Conception, they won in 3 minutes 53.11. The Queen's School was second, 4 minutes 3.35. And third was Mergo, 4 minutes 03.65. In the boys section, it was a ding-dong battle between Foga Road and Mona for about 3 of the 4 legs. And in the end, Foga Road came through in 3 minutes 25.21. Mona was second. They did 3 minutes 25.30. I told you it was a very, very close race. Denton took third spot in 3 minutes 36.9. a 0. Those are just some of the results we're able to glean from the result sheet as we watch the few remaining races to go. And just looking here at the Class 1 boys shot, Orlando Parkinson 17 meters 95, and the third 60 meters will have a full field. So it's getting more interesting. A full field in this one. Again, let me just glance to see if we could get a look at the start sheet, so we're able to sort of give you a better description. The senior men, that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 12 at C, and it's scheduled to go up at 5:58 to 5:39 now. So they're really motoring to see if they could get this one out of the way. Trying to open the start sheet. Not getting anything from it, so we'll just check with giving you the results as soon as the race is over. So there is actually a sheet here, but it's not opening on the system. And let's see how the rest goes. So, in fact, we have quite a few. We have quite a few 60 meters. So they're off. 7. They're very close to 60 meters race here. 7.16. The winning time. We'll tell you who that is. And the first place, the Michael University remains Justinburg, 7.16. Second place, Raheem Ashwin from UTEP, 7.19. And third went to Dante Santos, 7.21. So that's C. So they've got D. I think D is the final one. We're just not able to open the portal. It's here on the portal, but we're not able to open that. Because of that, we can't really give you the commentary on these 60-meter finals. We'd love to do them. We see the official results coming up for the women. We're just not able to open it. Not sure what's happening. But this is another one. I think they've got 2 after this one. And then should be able to get out of here. Fitness final, and it has a full field as well. And waiting to see the likes of Zangle Hughes. I suppose he's going to be in either the final one or the penultimate one. But we don't have a great deal of time inside the stadium, so we will try to get out of here as quickly as possible. We're heading to netball. Netball starts in about 18 or so minutes. And when I was making my way inside the stadium, there was a really decent crowd building up on the outside. And it's a shame we're not able to open the portal. But this one also looks very close. And it looks like Bawashi. It looks like 6.86. 6.86. It looks like Bawashi. Natioin Thomas from Mobay. 6.87. Really bears a close resemblance to Bawashi and Kobe, but it's not. So we have about 2 more to go. Just looking down at the starting area, it looks at we have about 2 more races to go in the 60 meters. So let's just hold on, because we want to be able to come back here to give another report, because by the time you rejoin us, it's going to be over. So they're asking a question, a trivia. What year and in what city did Great Jackson win the 200 meters silver at the Olympic Games? That's very easy. I'm not sure, Alric, do you know the answer? Hello?
Hello?
Do you know the answer? They're asking a question inside the stadium. What year and in what city did Grace Jackson win the 200 meters silver at the Olympic Games?
Will I get the prize if I answer?
Yes, it's for a phone.
No, will I get the prize if I answer?
Yes, you will. I will put it on. Oh, no, somebody has answered. But still give me the answer.
No, I won't give you an answer unless I'm winning.
Well, I'll give you my phone.
I know why you don't even want your phones. I don't know why I should want your phone.
The answer is Seoul in South Korea in 1988, same year that Ben Johnson was caught using prohibited substance and was eventually banned from the Olympic Games and banned for 4 years. He came back and tested positive again, and because of that, he was banned for life. So we've got 2 more 60 meters before we hand it back to you. So Alice, you flunked that test. I'm sure you didn't know that. You weren't even born. All right. The full field here for the 60 meters. Again, we don't have the starting lineup. Well, I tell you what. The only thing that been happening since I've been here is a false start, and we've just seen one. So we've seen everything. We're also looking over we're also surveying the stadium field to see if Sherika Jackson has left. And it does seem as if she has left. She was warming up on the infield. No, she has not left. She's on the infield warming down with her physical coach. And I can tell you, nobody's ever going to get near to her because they're guarding her so much. And she's warming down. But let's be fair to them. Let's see when she finishes her warm down if she'll be able to talk to us. I doubt it though, but let's see. In the meantime, there's a false start in the 60 meters. That E and X to go, that it is D. They're asking the spectators to be quiet to the start because they're hinting that the athletes could be here, they were not able to make a legitimate start. So lanes 1 and 2 were involved in that false start just now. They're going to do it again, a full field for the 60 meters for men D. And they've got E and F to go after this. Just looking behind the starting block, I see 2 rows of athletes. Now they finally got off. And a rush to the finish. And it looks like lane 4. It looks like lane 3 to me. The stadium announcer is saying lane 4. Very close. So let's just give you the official result for this one. In first place, Jay Somerville from UTEP. 6.91 Jay Somerville from UTEP. And he was actually in lane 7. So both of us were looking at lane 3 and 4. Sean Bujul from JC Costa, 6.94 second. And third from W.A. Drummond, 6.85. So I'm sure we only have 2 more to go. So we will either see Zonil Hughes in the last one, or we'll see him in this one. And I'm looking down there and not seeing him in this one. So he's going to be in the other one, the final event of the championship. The second question, name 2 of our sponsors. Well, I will not name them for the organizers to do that. But we've got 2 more races to go, 2 more 60-meter races, and we expect to see Zonil Hughes in the final one. Of course, he is the European champion, he's the British champion, and he won Commonwealth gold as well in the 200 meters, and he's also a regular in the finals of the global event. Didn't get to the final in Paris last year, but was in the semi-final, and of course he already trained here in Jamaica up at UTEP, up at the University of the West Indies with Glenn Mills. Looking forward to seeing Toby Amunsan, but Oliver Norton said she crashed late yesterday, and so she's not here today. Last year we were disappointed because Sherika O'Shillington and didn't run. This time she ran, finished second behind Julian Williams. Now the 60 meters, see the runners are on their mark. The set position, and the way they go, in fact, one shot, they're running 6 in this one, 2 actually. So athletes from UTEP won this one. 678. Actually, G coming up. Justin Maynard from UTEP. 6.70 was the winning time. 6.76. Rasheed McDonald, 6.78. Deshaun Storm from UTEP, 6.84 was third. Of course, Rasheed McDonald is second in that one. He is the national record holder in the men's 400 meters. We're getting a frontal view of the event, so we're unable to make the athletes out very easily, and we apologize for that. We just do not have the card sheet to give you commentary on it. But we only have 1 more to go, in fact 2 more to go, and then that will be it. But good to see Lee McDonald running in the 60 meters. Background work clearly. Ski work actually, working for the 400 meters. And we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season. But it should be an interesting season because we've got the World Championship in Tokyo, Japan in September. Another late World Championship. A late World Championship in Budapest 2 years ago. And the one in Tokyo going to be a late one as well. Normally July into August. We're not even having this one August into September. And of course, nationwide, 9 FM will have live coverage of that one. We brought the Olympic Games from Paris exclusively, and we're going to be doing coverage of the Tokyo World Championship. So the penultimate event here, before we hand back to the studio, we're going to head over to netball in a short while. So the penultimate 400 meters, 60 meters dash. Athlete asked to stand up. I can see Arnold Hughes, he's got this. He's behind the block, which means he's in the final one. So we'll just kind of see how we get from this one. There are one or two other meets going on up and down the country. It's development meet time. The champs is in March. So a lot of this, what you're seeing every Saturday up and down the country, is geared towards getting people ready for champs. And the seniors who are running at these development meets are also using them for the national championship first, and then ultimately to get themselves in tip-top shape heading into the Japanese capital, Tokyo, in mid-September. Boys and girls champs, they're pivotal. You heard Olive talking about the damage that was done. If you look at the stadium, see no football match can play. Really not in a good shape. So let's see who won that one. Look at Taekwondo Trophy. Of course, you heard this week that he might be giving up captaincy to go into bobsleigh. Many athletes have been making that sort of transition. So let's see. So Taekwondo Trophy, when I was doing the interview with Oliver McNaught, he passed and he knocked my hand. Taekwondo is in the other one. And it's very hard from 106.69. Nanda Williams from MVP is also there. And Dominic Williams from UK, 6.80. So the final one, and then we have back to the video. Okay, quite some number of good names are here. I told you that we saw Jaden Hipper. I'm not sure he's training into mix, I don't think so. Toby Atkinson, training here as well. Sherry Crawford, Ashanti Moore is here. Didn't see her earlier on. She's on the schedule to run, but didn't. And we're waiting on the final one. Final champion of the meet. There's a men's high jump going on, and I'm sure they'll see that one through to the end. So I'll get ready to take it back. This is the final 60 meters here, the 23rd staging of the Queen's Grace Jackson meet. And that's what you heard Olive McNaught talked about is real. The sponsorship or the inability to get sponsorship. It's a real problem for a lot of people. So the 60 meters, so Donald uses in this one as we expected. So Daniel Hughes, Taekwondo Tracy is in this one as well. So it's a strong full field, but Dane McPherson is also in this one. There's a strong full field. They're on their mark. Final track event of the meet. Night is descending. The lights are not on. And I got the impression this is what they're trying to beat. Not having to pay that $100,000 for the light. And if you can get it done, why not? The final event on the track. 7 is in this one. It's a false start. And it looks like lane number 4. Who's in lane 4? Is it Zarnell? No, it's not Zarnell. can't quite make that person out. The Ronald is in lane 3. So it's a false start. And the noise you're hearing coming through our sound effects headset. The high jump is over. A jumper from UTEC won it, and he's been surrounded by his his UTEC mates who are celebrating. I'm not sure, probably they have broken the record as well. But you should see the scene. I'm going to charge Alex Brady with getting us the video for the rest of the season, because we really would have had this one on our channel so you could see what's happening here. So they called to the marks again, the 60 meters, guys. The gentlemen, for the last 60 meters, we're heading over to netball. Should be a packed house. It's a final one against South Africa, the Jamaican team leading 2-0. And they must sweep the South Africans to sort of get the points that they so desire. Athletes are on their mark now in the set position, and they're off and running for the 60 meters, the final track event for the Grace Jackson meet. And Darnell came third for sure, well, second, and we'll see who won. Was it Brandon Barnes? Well, we got for sure we can tell you Darnell Hughes was second in that one. It looks like Zanjian Barnes. Or Golson. So it's Golson, not Zanjian Barnes. 6.65 for Zanjian Barnes. Former World University Games 100 meters. Tracy was second, and at 6.70, and third to Dane McPherson from Sprintec, 6.74. So Darnell ran out of it. He was passed along the way and finished fourth. So that will pretty much do it for our coverage here from the 23rd staging of the Queen's Grace Jackson meet. We're heading over to netball, and the next time you hear from us, we're going to be coming to you from that event.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. With that, we'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Introducing Domus Windows and Doors, Caribbean UPVC solutions. Now open at the Summit, 16 Chelsea Avenue, Kingston 5. Order energy-efficient solar E-windows and doors that offer laminate glass for enhanced security and a 50% reduction on your air conditioning usage. Now that's saving money. And these windows and doors are manufactured to international standards with a 20-year warranty on the frames. Get special offers in time for Christmas. Call or WhatsApp 619-1223 or visit the showroom today.
Start your fitness journey today and make 2025 your healthiest yet with Express Fitness. State-of-the-art equipment, expert trainers, and encouraging community are here to support you every step of the way. Join now and take the first step towards a stronger, happier you. Express Fitness, starting at only $9,500 per month with 11 locations island-wide. Your gym for all your needs. Visit www.expressfitnessja.com to sign up today.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Alex. We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some cricket now as 20 wickets fell on the opening day of the second test between the West Indies and Pakistan at Multan Cricket Stadium. Batting first, the Windies were bowled out for 163. Gudakesh Moti top scored with 55. Jamel Warrikan made 36 not out and Kamar wrote 25. Norman Ali took 6 for 41 and Sajid Khan 2 for 64. In reply, Pakistan were bowled out for 154. Mohammad Rizwan made 49 and Saad Shakil 32. Warrican finished with figures of 4 for 43, Muti 3 for 49 and Roach 2 for 15. West Indies bowling coach James Franklin says the Caribbean side did well to recover from a poor start.
Today's performance, I think, was a fighting performance from us as a group. Obviously, we were under pressure in that first hour, losing quite a few wickets, but then to put on, I think, about 100 for the last couple of wickets was amazing rearguard fight from our tail enders. We saw a little bit of that in the last test as well. So then to get us to a score where we felt we could compete with the ball and put some pressure back onto Pakistan was great, and obviously that's how it sort of eventuated through the day. To watch 20 wickets fall on day one in a test is a very rare occurrence, so the game has certainly sped up very fast.
James Franklin, and joining us to talk some bit on this opening day of the second test between West Indies and Pakistan, as well as the women's series against Bangladesh, is Joseph Reg Pereira. Reg, good evening, welcome to the show.
Yes, good evening to you and your colleagues, good evening to your audience in Jamaica and beyond. The one difference between the opening day of the one difference between the first test and second test is that the West Indies were able to break that partnership you referred to, and that's why it's almost even with the West Indies having a very small lead. But when I woke up and I saw them about 59 or 7, I didn't imagine that we would get anywhere, maybe near 100.
Right.
So it's a very interesting day, but the West Indies, the way how they've been able to overall contain this Pakistan batting, despite our struggle with our batsmen. I want to talk about the team later.
That's where I wanted to start, Reg. 20 wickets on the opening day. Is it that both teams' batters just are up to par, or the bowling is just so outstanding, or the wicket is just not good?
The wicket is so helpful. That once you bowl with the right pace, as Warrican did in the first test, and now Moti was a lot better. In the first test, he bowled much too fast. The ball was just getting through. It wasn't biting. It was turning. Slowed it down a lot. And of course, people are saying, when you play a lot of white ball cricket, to make the transition to the longer format of the red ball game, sometimes it's not. But the pitch is so helpful to the spinners that batsmen on both sides are having difficulty. Our tail enders saved us, and Rizwan and his partner managed to get Pakistan, who were in deep trouble. I think that and they were 58 for 3 and 66 for 4. So it's just about even going into the second day. But can we get two men at the top to put the partnership together? So the middle order will have not an uphill task. The middle order can build. But it's not every time we're going to have the tail going back to the well.
Right, because looking at this with the tail enders, the bowlers making most of the runs, 55 from Moti, Warrican with 36 not out, Kamaru with 25. It suggests that the top order and the middle order batsmen need to concentrate a bit and select their shot properly.
Yes, it makes you wonder, what batting skills Moti and Warrican and Roach have that people who have picked for their batting, right? cannot cope, cannot make the adjustment. It might come down on discipline, on selection. If you are disciplined and you are very careful with your shot selection, waiting for the bad ball, and of course the bad ball is going to come
right.
In just about any test match, and I think maybe that may be the answer. I wouldn't swear on the Bible, but I think that's the answer. That Moti, Roach, and Warrican are being very selective and not trying anything too ambitious. When the ball is there to be hit, they try to put it away. When the ball is there to pick up a couple of runs, and maybe the others are not there. I mean, if you look at the first test batting, I mean, yes, we all complain about the pitch. I mean, worldwide there's been criticism. Pakistan is always going to struggle away. I mean, they just lost it in South Africa.
Right.
But there were some very bad shots. There were some very suicidal shots. So we aided and abetted a spin bowling of a high quality on a pitch that is helping the Pakistan spinners. We aided and abetted them in the first test in a big way. I mean, Bradford, for example, looked quite solid. And then all of a sudden, out of the storybook of blue, just went for a shot from outside the off stump. Wild shot, bowled down. Kaki turned the ball straight into the forward square leg. Louis ran down the wicket. I don't know where he was going. I don't know who called him. It was the late Roy Fredericks was saying, "Who called you, boy?" I think there was just that lack of skill and technique, and I was very disappointed that Django failed. I thought he should have been in the first test. He comes from Trinidad. He plays spin well. He's been playing spin all his life, but I didn't see the dismissal, so I cannot comment. I just saw the highlights. Sometimes the highlights you can't judge, where the ball was pitched or what exactly he was trying to do, etc. But I think we need to deal tonight on the second innings. Can West Indies give them anywhere near 200 or 180, something like that? What is going to finish tonight? Well, we'll see. I mean, West Indies, they in fact got what? Something like, I think the West Indies were batting 41 overs. So I think they need to bat a lot more than that if they can get up to that maybe 200 target.
Right, and to see Warrican and Roach and Moti come back with the ball and be so devastating on the Pakistan batsmen, Warrican taking 4, Moti 3, and Roach 2. It speaks a lot to the quality of our bowling.
Yes, I mean, Roach, we were without Seal, so, it was so important that Roach was able to come in and pick up a couple of wickets, which he did. So he simply set Pakistan back straight away. I was wondering at one time whether Bradford should not have brought Roach back, because if you look at St. Clair's figures, they were the most expensive, and I thought that although he had to try his off spinner, but he was bowling too many 4 balls. He bowled some good ones, but he was down leg side and short sometimes. But I think Roach took a very great catch, but might have shaken himself up.
Okay.
Went off, and maybe he he didn't come back in time, but I thought that was the one thing Roach could have done when St. Clair didn't stop the flow of runs. But overall, I think the West Indies did a very, very good performance on condition created and made specially for Pakistan.
And you before the start of the test, you had recommended 2 changes to the squad, to the starting 11 really, but they brought in, they made only 1 change to the squad.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with what you see?
Yeah, one was a forced change, huh?
Right.
Don't forget that Seals was down to play, and then came this nigger which we heard about. Whether it happened in Nets, we do not know. So Roach had to come in. But I felt that Louis is a young man. He's had 1 first-class season where he made a bundle of runs. And, it then brings to the discussion point, you make 600 runs against West Indies first-class bowling. Can you really rush that person into a test series? But you can't take away that he made and others didn't make. Chanja Ball lost out. But I thought that his dismissals in the first test were so bad. He looked bad. Bowled through the gate and then using his feet, never got to the pitch. I mean, he looked awkward. Sometimes you rest a young player knowing that he's got age in his side to come back, get runs in the 4-day. And restart. I would have experimented as Sir Frank Worrell did in 1963 when he brought in Willie Rodriguez, when Carew and McMorris couldn't really give Hunt a start. Rodriguez helped Hunt at the Oval to get a stand of 58.
Right.
When Greenwich failed in Brisbane in 75, Vernon Julian was sent to partner Roy Fredericks, and they got 91. Now, okay, Julian only got 28 before I think he broke his thumb. But the fact that he hung around, the fact that he battled for over an hour, it just gave West Indies that start. And I thought that De Silva, with his experience, was the best person to have said, okay, look, draw on your experience, go in there, battle with the spin, and I think he would have started with a plus over Louis. Well, that spilled milk. The deal is done. I lost out on that one, but I wasn't surprised that Carty was dropped.
Right.
And here's hoping that Django will come good in the second innings.
Right. Let's look at the women's game. The West Indies, they completed a 2-1 series win against Bangladesh in the ODI series. In the final ODI, they beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets, scoring 122 in reply to Bangladesh's 118. Your take on the women's game and how they look over the three match series?
Well, I don't believe. I can't understand really what the coaching staff wants. Rick, we cannot qualify. We have to play in the qualifiers.
Right.
So it's not that we have to win at all costs. We have to win at all costs because it looks good in your track record. But you're not going anywhere by beating Bangladesh, other than winning is a habit.
Right.
I asked someone a question today, and I'll ask you the same question. I asked your audience and all your colleagues the same question. When you look at the 3 matches, we won 2-1, we lost the second. How many young players did we really expose and bring on in this 3 ODIs? How many players? And that's been the problem. We have not brought on new developing players who could start to make a contribution to the the batting and bowling.
But with the qualifiers and the World Cup around the corner, I don't think the coaching staff want to be chip and changing right now.
Well, you could at least. I mean, if you're playing Glasgow from St. Vincent, once you play her, let her bowl her overs. The only way you're going to know whether she has the ability. I mean, they gave Fraser a fairly good opportunity. She had 5 overs, I think, not to 16. He's just back from Australia. There were 5 of them there. But has trouble going down the leg side after starting well, picking up a wicket in the early ones. I'm saying, Alric, I don't believe there should be chopping and changes, but you need to start developing other people by giving them experience. We are relying on Haley Matthews. We don't have Stefani Taylor, who is recovering from injury. Right. We are relying on Dotting. We are relying on Campbell. We are relying on
Joseph.
On Joseph and Ramnarak. Unfortunately, Henry is not there. We should have used this to just develop 3 players. I'm not saying wide range change up the team, but it will be good if they, for example, the girl James, 2 overs. Why didn't she? Why did they? 2 overs and got 2 wickets. Mm-hmm. Why didn't? When did the coach and the captain allow her to bowl another 5 or 6? You need to develop confidence. You aren't going to develop a player by bowling 2 overs. Glasgow, 2 overs. She's a genuine all-rounder. That's the point I'm making, and I said that today to a colleague, and she could. The colleague came back. Well, it's a female commentator. Came back and said, "Reds, I think you hit the nail in his head. Right. How many names have come out, right? Who said, well, this young player, whoever the name is, really had a great tour. That's a spark with the future." Right. And we'll see what they will do in the T20. So winning is important, but building for the future is all important. I don't expect people to be experimenting in an official ODI or official T20, right? But certainly when you don't have to play in a tournament where you need to win to qualify, where you have to qualify in any case, Rick, and that's the case, and that's the case I make. Is there any merit, Rick, in what I'm saying?
Right, I get you. They still have to qualify, so it would have been better to give the young players some time in the middle, as well as some bowling time to get used to competing at a high level.
Yes, at least 3 players. So you're building. When Henry comes back, you pick up 3 more players. You almost have an 11. You almost have an 11.
You'll have a deep squad to select from.
Yeah, you have a deep squad, but a coach likes to see West Indies takes the series. It looks good on the CV. Players are very happy, but the honest truth is that this was a very weak Bangladesh side.
Right.
This was a very weak Bangladesh side. So, celebrate, yes, we win, but take it in a measured way. We did not beat a tough side.
Right.
I mean, Ramnarat, again, picking up wickets, but can she do it at the higher level against South Africa or against England or against New Zealand? That is the test that she will have to show us.
Right. I guess we'll have to wait until the qualifiers and hopefully the World Cup to find out. But sorry, Reds, that's where we'll have to go So again, I'd like to thank you for your time and your insight.
A quick one, if I can ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Jamaica team, have they been practicing national team versus the rest of the scoring runs?
They have had some inter-squad plays. They would have had a send away for them yesterday. It was.
And the win was against. The win was in St. Vincent. That's the big game.
Right.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good night to Jamaica and all, and thanks for inviting me on your show. It's always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure as well. Okay, so that was Joseph Reds Pereira, a veteran cricket commentator. We'll have to take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Chakama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Introducing Domus Windows and Doors, Caribbean UPVC Solutions. Now open at the Summit, 16 Chelsea Avenue, Kingston 5. Order energy-efficient solar E-windows and doors that offer laminate glass for enhanced security and a 50% reduction on your air conditioning usage. Now that's saving money. And these windows and doors are manufactured to international standards with a 20-year warranty on the frames. Get special offers in time for Christmas. Call or WhatsApp 619-1223 or visit the showroom today.
Start your fitness journey today and make 2025 your healthiest yet with Express Fitness. State-of-the-art equipment, expert trainers, and encouraging community are here to support you every step of the way. Join now and take the first step towards a stronger, happier you. Express Fitness, starting at only $9,500 per month with 11 locations island-wide. Your gym for all your needs. Visit www.expressfitnessja.com to sign up today.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. My technical operator will be talking some tennis now, as from a teenage prodigy to a tour stalwart with gnarling injuries, Madison Keys' road to Grand Slam glory has been long and complicated. The newly crowned Australian Open champion broke through on the WTA tour when she was just 14 and was instantly tipped as a future major winner. Now, a few weeks before her 30th birthday, the American has finally achieved her goal. Keys capped an impressive run at Melbourne Park with a shock win over two-time defending champion Aryna Sabalenka in Saturday's final.
Firstly, Aryna, unbelievable playing. I'm glad I finally got you back. But unbelievable tennis. You're always so tough to play, and we always have the craziest matches. So congratulations to you and your team for another amazing Grand Slam run. Thank you to everyone who came out and cheered the last 2 weeks. I always feel so at home here. I made my very first Grand Slam semifinal here in Melbourne, so to now have won my first Grand Slam in the same place means the absolute world to me.
Madison Keys. Meanwhile, Yannick Sinner will aim to make history for Italy by defending her Australian Open title. His Australian Open title as Alexander Zverev chase a first major in the Melbourne final tomorrow. World number one Sinner could become the first Italian player in history to win 3 slam titles and will start the final on a career best 20-match winning streak. German world number 2 Zverev is yet to win a major, having lost his previous 2 Grand Slam finals. Now we're joined by tennis analyst Cassius Watson to share some of his insight on the final as well as look ahead to the men's final tomorrow. Cassius, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Albert, and thanks for having me. And good evening also to your listeners.
It's my pleasure. Let's jump right into it, Cassius. Tell me your overall thoughts on this match. Sabalenka against Madison Keys. Did you expect the outcome that you saw?
Not quite. But am I surprised by the outcome? No, I'm not. I think that Madison had the weapons to stand toe to toe with Arina Sabalenka. So I'm not surprised. No surprises there. I thought that one thing she had to do well, and that was to serve well, and she managed to do that, as well as returned pretty well, and literally just played an all-out aggressive tennis. She said that she would have to go down shooting, and that's what she did, and it paid off. Because you're playing against a player who's super aggressive. So you can't go there, focusing on defense and hoping that she makes errors. You have to go out there and take the match,
Sabalenka, she was going for 3 straight. You think that pressure played any part in her defeat?
Of course, it's going to play. It's going to be thinking about it. You're the defending champion. I mean, people are expecting you to win. I mean, you've done so convincingly in prior years. But yes, there's going to be some pressure. But I don't think it was all that. I mean, Keys jumped out early to an early lead, broke her early and kind of set the tone for the match. But Sabalenka fought her way back and won the second set. So it's no surprises for Sabalenka that Keys would be coming out, because she's quite familiar with Keys, a former Grand Slam finalist at the US Open. She knows that Keys has the weapons to really stay out there and battle with her. So I just think that she started slow. And you could say that there was some nerves there, but both women started to slug from the baseline, and it really just it came down to who would execute the best. And I think Madison Keys was brave, and she executed when she needed to.
And you think the fact that Keys came out so strong so early in the match kind of caught Sabalenka off guard, and it took her some time to get back into the game?
I would say so. I mean, Madison is normally a slow starter. That's just a fact. She normally works her way into the point, into the set. But this time she said that she just had to go out there big time, and I think she was so aggressive because of the nature of the player she's playing. I think Arina Sabalenka is the most aggressive tennis player I've seen in the past, say, 15 years or so. So, Serena is aggressive at times, but Serena will sometimes give you a slow ball. Serena is all about just slugging on every single shot, so you know what you're going to get. And I think that's what she did, this, and there was no surprise for Keys. And Keys knew that she just had to do certain things right, which she did, and it really paid off for her.
Right, let's look at the men's game come tomorrow. Sinner against Zverev. Who you think will start as a favorite?
I think you have to go with Yannick Sinner. He's just the best hardcore player the past year or so, year and a half. And he does everything that Zverev will do better. You know, he deserves, you know, I think signature shot is his two-handed backhand, but I think, you know, Sinner's backhand is just as solid, and he can move it around just as well as Zverev. I believe he serves more consistently better than Zverev. He's a better mover than Zverev, and off the ground, he hits the ball way early. Zverev kind of likes some time, but Sinner is just aggressive. He hits the ball just off the bounce, and that's going to be a problem for Zverev. Zverev is going to be doing a lot of running as well, so he better be ready for that, because Sinner is going to be moving him around the court, and aggressively so. So he has a lot to think about, a lot to do. Does he have the weapons to make the match competitive? And possibly, if he catches Sinner, you know, in some down moments or with a bad start, can he kind of, you know, jump him? Sure, he can. You know, he has the weapon. And I mean, he's got the 2 Grand Slam finals. You know, one of them you should say, I mean, he should have won. But I mean, that's just life. And now he gets another chance. So will he take it? You know, like Matty Keys, he's gotten her opportunity. She got into semi-finals and a final. And this is his chance. It may never come again. This may be the closest thing he gets to a Grand Slam final, you know, with all the competition out there right now and a lot of youngsters coming up at his heels. Yeah, this is it. So hopefully he can do it. But if I'm a betting man, I would be putting my cash on Yannick Sinner.
Well, I can never support a Sinner, but I'm just joking. But well, he has a 20-match winning streak going for him. That's Yannick Sinner. How much of a moral booster will that be for him going into this match? And will that play on Zverev's mind in any way?
I bet it must. I mean, you have the best hardcore player in the game who starts the year well. You know, impeccable record. You know, starting the year. Of course, you're going to be thinking, I mean, is this guy going to be making any errors? What can I do to force him into making errors? And then pressure comes on your game, because you're now thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to serve well. I'm going to have to return well, because this guy really doesn't miss off the ground, even though he hits pretty big, but he really doesn't miss. You know, so what am I going to have to do to take him out of his game? That is going to be the question that Alexander Zverev is going to be asking himself. And at the end of the day, he has to execute. Asking yourself the questions and, you know, making those and, you know, putting the calculations in your head is one thing, but at the end of the day, you have to get it done on the court. And then, you know, and he's going to have to execute the best he has in a long time. We know that he can do it. The question is, will he do it on Sunday morning?
Zverev just have to get a feather on the court, and he can get some. But tell me, when you look at the arsenal of both men, what does Zverev have to do to stop Sinner, and likewise Sinner to stop Zverev?
Well, Zverev's game is built around his solid ground stroke and using his backhand to move his opponents over the court. And that's his bread and butter shot, his two-handed backhand. His forehand has improved somewhat, and he will be trying to hit the ball deep into the court to keep Sinner from attacking him. But Sinner hits the ball so early that I don't know how effective that will be. And as I said, Sinner does everything that he does better. And when you play, it's like, you know, you're starting a race with Usain Bolt in it. The question is, who will be battling for the spoils? I mean, because you know that Usain's going to win it, barring him pulling up or having some unforeseen circumstance in the race. You're kind of like, you know, I'm really battling for what's left. And that's how, you know, Zverev will feel coming into the match. Sinner puts a lot of pressure on you. There are certain things that he does well because he's just super aggressive, and he's always hitting the ball harder, deeper, moving you around the court. And, you know, Zverev is going to have to do a lot of running. I don't know. I mean, he's been playing a lot of matches to get into the final. Don't know what he'll have left. You know, and that's another question that will be asked of him, his physicality. Just how fit will he be able to stay around there in those long rallies and those, those pounding baseline shots.
Right.
So that's a question that he will also be asking himself. But at the end of the day, he just has to go out there. The tennis is a game of percentages. You just have to go and do and focus on doing the right things well. That's holding yourself. Let it go to tiebreakers. Let's see what happens in a tiebreaker. But the first thing is first, you have to hold yourself. No double faults. No 3 points. And let's see what happens. You never know what can happen. You can go in and kind of prejudge what you think is going to happen, but the match has not started as yet. So all we can do is just think about what we think might happen, but you never know what will arise.
Right. And finally, Novak Djokovic, he had to left the competition. He retired hurt in the his semifinals. He was booed while he left the court. Tell me, explain why would they boo him? And two, you think he'll be able to make that 25 Grand Slam?
Djokovic still has enough in him to get it done. I would say, this surface, I think if he was going to win another Grand Slam and make it 25, it would have been on this surface because it's slow enough. He's won here the most. So I think if he's going to do well anywhere, it would be here. But I think the fans, he has a love-hate relationship with the fans in Australia. Remember, he was booted out of the country for breaking COVID-19 rules. And on top of that, he then refused to speak with the on-court interviewer, Jim Courier, citing that someone at Channel 9 had said something that he wasn't happy about and was jeering the Serbian fans, and he wasn't happy about it, so he decided not to do an interview. And he apologized for not doing it, but he says, he hopes that people understand that he was standing on principle when he did that. So that love-hate relationship, the fact that people paid so much money in those tickets to come in that stadium, it's a lot of money. And when you know that the match that the match that you were planning to see, you buy your popcorn and you're ready to sit down, and you buy all your snacks, you're ready to sit down and watch some quality tennis, high-level tennis, and you really, after the first set, that's kind of it. It's rough. It really is. It really is for the fans. But can he win another one? Maybe two, I think. Yeah, I think he can. Right. But is the window and the door closing on him? Yes, also.
Right. Well, I did say final closure, but let me ask you this in closing. The Murray-Djokovic combination, did it work?
I think so. I think he's confident. I think he knows. Murray's been there, done that. Quite familiar with everything that surrounds the game of the men's professional game. So no surprises, between them. And he respects the fact that this guy knows what I'm dealing with day to day. He lived the life. He's done it. Been there, done that. So I'd say let's see what the rest of the year brings. But so far, I think he's comfortable having Murray in his bench and in his box, and we'll kind of just see how it goes. As I said, I didn't feel he needed Murray, but champions are always pushing to try and find that extra whatever that they can find to get them over the line, and essentially that's what Djokovic is doing. He's a consummate perfectionist who's always wanting to improve his game, and he's willing to find the person or try to find the person who he believes that can help him do that.
Okay, then, Cassius, thanks much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts. I know tomorrow you will be cheering on the Sinner for the week.
I'm cheering on good tennis. I want Zverev to win one because I think he's too good a player to not have one, and I've seen so many players who are very good players just not get it done, and I just really want him to get it done. I like Sinner because he's just a businessman. He just goes there, he's always serious, and he's just focused on playing the game that he really loves. But I think tennis fans should be treated to some decent tennis, maybe a great match, maybe not so, depending on how both players start.
Right.
But all in all, if you're a tennis fan, it's a match you're losing your sleep over.
Right. Okay, then again, Cassius, thanks much and all the best.
Thank you very much, Eric, and good evening to your listeners.
Okay, that was tennis analyst Cassius Watson. With that, we'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Make a love thing flop. Fontana, are your one-stop shop? Oh yes.
If you love someone, kiss. Perfumes, wine, teddy bears, and chocolates.
It's all Valentine's inside at Fontana.
Oh, Fontana.
Yes, baby, love me know you want it. Perfume, wine, teddy beers, and chocolate.
You better go a Fontana for me.
Fontana, are your one-stop shop?
It's all Valentine's inside at Fontana.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Eric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. My technical operator will jump over now to the National Indoor Sports Center, where we'll be talking with Wayne. Wayne, what has been happening? Hello, yes, Wayne?
Hello.
It seems as if Wayne enjoying the match too much. He's not been able to hear us. Wayne, good evening. Hello? We are trying to make contact with Wayne. The National Indoor Sports Center is abuzz with the Sunshine Girls taking on South Africa, third rank against the fifth ranked team. I'm not sure what's happening over there. It should be about the second quarter. Should be wrapping up on about now. So we want to hear from Wayne what has been happening. What has the girl been doing? They've already secured the series from game 2. So it's Wayne. Are you with us now? Wayne?
Hello.
Yes, Wayne. Are you with us now? I'm hearing you. You can go ahead. We're hearing you. You can go ahead, Wayne. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna try and reconnect with Wayne. We're not getting through to him. Well, we make connection, but it's a bit noisy in the National Indoor Sports Center as expected. I mean, the girls has been going on great. We're winning convincingly in game 1 and especially game 2. Is a big. We join with Wayne now. Wayne, good evening.
Yeah, I hope I'm not hearing you, but it's half time here at the National Indoor Sports Center. The final game in the field. And the lead is 29-9, going at the moment. And the right way inside. They this evening with about 5 or so minutes ago. The end of the second quarter, to lead by 10 goals in the half. This is the game on Wednesday night. Australia or New Zealand tonight.
Okay, the PA system inside the National Indoor Sports Center is drowning out Wayne's commentary. So we will have to rejoin him at a later time. So we take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Start your fitness journey today and make 2025 your healthiest yet with Express Fitness. State-of-the-art equipment, expert trainers, and encouraging community are here to support you every step of the way. Join now and take the first step towards a stronger, happier you. Express Fitness, starting at only $9,500 per month with 11 locations island-wide. Your gym for all your needs. Visit www.expressfitnessja.com to sign up today.
Have you just finished grade 11? Looking for a 2-year 6th-form pathway to earn overseas local certificate diploma and advanced diploma and get qualified to work locally and internationally? Register now. Start free 6th form at IIRQ Academy. Start our new 6th form program online or face-to-face classes in September. Choose between pathway 1, 2, or 3. Paid for by the Ministry of Education. For more information, call 876-322-4029 or visit 32 Hope Road, Kingston. Website www.iirq.org.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Webby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now we're in the NFL segment, the Jerome Gridiron, and I'll be turning over to Jerome Jai. But just to let him know that again, Liverpool came out on top, 3-1 today.
Again, nobody cares.
and again, just reminding him from last week that I was right and he was wrong. The Eagles did win last week. I did not pick the Eagles. So I'm sure Paul is there, and Paul remember that I told him if the Eagles lose, as he said, no. I would have worn a Manchester United jersey because I know they weren't going to lose.
I wanted the Eagles to lose. I was calling for the upset, but I did not actually pick the upset.
Paul, tell him that he said that the Eagles were going to lose, please.
You did say the Eagles would lose. And that's when you made the bet.
No, we did not. First of all, we have the tape. So we don't have to argue about it.
Exactly.
We don't have to argue about it. I did not pick the Eagles to lose. I wanted the Eagles to lose. I did not pick the Eagles to lose. I'm looking at my picks right now. I lost one game last week. I lost one game last week.
What I'm talking about what you picked.
I wonder if flip-flop is your favorite footwear.
Alric, you know, Alric, go get something to drink. Like people don't want to hear you. Anyway, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, listen. Good afternoon, Alric and everybody. I mean, yeah. Go on, Alric. Come out of the studio. Let's talk some football, gentlemen. We have a lot to get through this week. Last week was a really tough divisional round. We saw some exciting games. The game that I want to talk a little bit more, I think Remy's on, right?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Yeah, man. Remy, you should be on. I don't even know Cloud9 is the word to use, but you have to be easily one of the happiest man in life right now.
I'm generally happy still in the job. This is just a bonus.
No, the suffering that you've had for the last 25 years as a Redskins, as a football commander fan, it's long suffering. I'm experiencing a little bit of it now with Manchester United, but I'm gonna give you the floor.
Don't leave that out.
No, I'm not a Patriots fan anymore, even though I'm actually wearing a Patriots jersey in studio right now for all the fans to see. But Remy, I'm sure you did not expect Jaden Daniels to go in Detroit and come out with that W. And if you tell me that you did, I'm sure you'd be lying. I mean, how big as a surprise were you that the rookie went into Detroit and come away with the W and came away with the W?
Well, I saw that as a 50-50 game because the amount of injuries that Detroit had on defense. My thing was I didn't see them being able to stop Washington's offense. I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. So I figured in a shootout, I mean, I liked our chances. Like I said, I thought it would be a 50-50 game. Jaden has shown all season long that, he can keep his composure in the tight moments. And, he did exactly what I thought he would do. I mean, what I didn't expect was for Jared Goff to cough up the ball as many times as he did.
Yeah, Jared Goff is due every now and then. He had a 5 interception game this year, even though they won. I mean, but to say that, I don't think Jared Goff cost them the game. I think Ben Johnson got a little bit too creative. I mean, having wide receivers throw passes, it just was not the typical Detroit game. I think they got the Washington Commanders, they lioned the lion. They went for it on 4th down. They were successful on 4th down. They were aggressive and got the Lions off their game. Paul, what you thought was the single biggest reason why the Commanders went into Detroit and came out with the victory?
Single biggest reason I think is just the performance of Jaden Daniels. I think he executed the offense to perfection. He attacked the Lions defense that, as Remy pointed out, had several injuries. He didn't turn over the ball. He was fearless. He was efficient. And more than anything else, they approached the game, to use your phrase, in a manner which was that like the Lions. But, I mean, research tells us, and particularly from a statistical perspective, the Commanders are the team with the most efficient output on 4th down attempts in the league. So
like 87%.
We should have expected that.
It's almost automatic.
Yeah, they go for it and they get it. So that was pretty much always on the cards. But what we didn't expect is for the Lions defense to not show up. I expected a high-scoring game. I think I said it last week that it would be a game that was pretty close. And if it came down to a situation where the Commanders have the ball last, I don't see them stopping them. But it turned on its head and the Commanders kept scoring and kept performing and Detroit couldn't answer.
Yeah, and it's going to set up a matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles this week, because the Philadelphia Eagles were able to hold off the Rams, who were driving inside the 10-yard line to win that game. Paul, I'm sure your heart was in your mouth when the Rams had first and goal, I think at the 6, and driving to win that game. What sort of emotions were you experiencing in that moment?
It was a tense game because I think after Saquon scored that long touchdown when I thought the game was over, credit to the Rams and McVay and Stafford, they kept playing. And I think when you look at just what was happening with our quarterback and him being injured and some of the play calling on our end, we left the door open for them and they almost crept back and won it. But, give thanks to that defense for Jalen Carter and his dominance in that regard, and we're able to pull it off, and we're here today.
All right, and we're here today. We're here. And, just like the football gods would want it, we have a Washington Commanders diehard fan, and we have a Philadelphia Eagles diehard fan. I'm the neutral in the middle. I don't care. I want both of these teams to lose, but one have to win. So, gentlemen, let's go through the tail of the tape, and I know I'm going to get credible journalism from both of you, because there is absolutely no bias in these two teams. So let's go through the tail of the tape. So we have Jalen Hurts, who is a very experienced quarterback. He's been to a Super Bowl before. He's been in the MVP conversation, not having the best of years. And we have Jaden Daniels, who many people think is the greatest rookie season we've ever seen in this league. Paul, I'll start with you first. Which team has the edge at quarterback?
I think we'll have to give it to the young rookie. Jalen has a resume that is admirable. But I think this season he's not had to, and he has not been asked to do the thing
that Jalen Daniels has done. I look at that young man in terms of his poise in the pocket, his efficiency throwing the ball down the field. Hurts has not done that, and as such, I give him the nod. I think he's right now easily one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now today.
Top 5 is a stretch, but anyway, Remy, let me throw the weapons to you. Which team has the best group of weapons? When we talk about weapons, we're talking about running backs, we're talking about tight ends, we're talking about wide receivers. Which team has the best weapons heading into tomorrow's game?
I think without question that's the Eagles. I mean, when you look at the wide receiver duo of Smith and AJ Brown, and then you put Dallas Goedert in the mix, a tight end, and then of course, the offensive player here in Saquon Barkley. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, what Washington has done, with their receiving threats. I mean, Terry McLaurin, I think, is the best receiver in the playoffs right now, overall. But as a group, I definitely think that the Eagles have the edge. I mean, I don't even think it's even a question. I mean, our running backs, Robinson and Eckler, has been good catching the ball out the backfield. But if you're to put all our running backs together and put their best attributes, they still don't equal one Saquon Barkley.
All right. Paul, let me throw it back to you. Defensive line and offensive line play combined. We combine in the line play. Which team has the edge where offense and defensive line is concerned?
I have to give it to us. I think our defensive line speaks for itself in terms of their efficiency and their ability to disrupt the quarterback and make plays. And then that offensive line has a over 2,000 yard rushing running back this season. Not to mention, for the last 7 games, we've kept our quarterback pretty much upright as long as he doesn't decide to stand there like a statue. I have a lot of respect for the Washington O-line. I think a lot of their proficiency has to do with their quarterback being very mobile and making good decisions. But for D-line and O-line, I think I'll give the nod to Philadelphia.
Remy, we see Nick Sirianni. All he's done since China been the coach of the Eagles is win games. Not sure sometime how, but they've won a lot of games. Dan Campbell, I mean, he's made a significant impact with the Washington Commanders team in his first year. We've seen Dan Campbell go to a Super Bowl. We've seen him lost a 28-3 lead in a Super Bowl to one Tom Brady. Shameless plug. Remy, who has the edge where coaching is concerned?
When you're talking about coaching, are you just talking about head coaches, or are you talking about assistant coaches as well?
Throw everybody in the mix. Coaching.
All right. I would say, okay, if you're looking at defensive coordinators, I would throw that's a combination of Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. on Washington side, and Vic Fangio on Philly's side. I think that Washington has improved a lot defensively from last season. They were giving up over 30 points a game. I think like 32. I know they're giving up 23. They ranked 13th overall. Philly's defense was down the bottom against the pass, and now they're first overall. I would give Philly the slight edge in coaching on the defensive side. Offensively, Kellen Moore against Cliff Kingsbury, I would give it to Kingsbury. As far as head coaches are concerned, a slight edge. I would give Dan Campbell a slight edge because Dan Quinn a slight edge because I think that Sirianni has had to take more of a CEO role and kind of stay out of the way of the coordinators. That's been the general feeling around Philly. And whereas Quinn is more hands-on on both sides of the ball, the aggressive play calling, when we have the ball going for it on fourth down, that's not Cliff Kingsbury, that is Dan Quinn. That is Dan Quinn leading into, the skill set of his rookie, giving the Commanders the best chance to win. So I would say, overall, there's a slight edge in coaching to Washington.
All right. And I'll let both gentlemen answer this last question. Who is the X factor in this game? Where is this game going to be determined? And we know the big names, the Jaden Daniels, the Jalen Hurts, the AJ Browns, the Saquon Barkley. But Paul, let me ask you to go first. Where will this game be won? Who's the X factor in this game?
Made a mistake. The game is going to be won in the trenches. It's really my D line against their O line, their O line against my D line. But as far as the real changing factor here, I think it comes down to the coaches and the play calling. I think it's not a disrespect to say that the Eagles play their game and we pretty much execute with the players that we have, the healthy players that we have. We should win this game. It's going to be a very highly competitive one, but just don't get in the way of success. Last week when we played the Rams with an injured leg where it was very clear that our quarterback was hampered and immobile, we decided to have him have a 5-step drop into his end zone to throw a ball. And it wasn't a quick out, it wasn't a slant, it's a shot down the field. Like things like that where you just have a lapse in judgment from a coaching perspective, I think is the X factor in this matchup, because Washington, I think, will come prepared and will be ready from a coaching perspective to do what they need to do in this game.
Remy, who's your X factor?
I think the X factor in this game is a little difficult to articulate, but I'll try my best. It's going to be Washington's ability to lean into the fact that they're the number one no-huddle team in the NFL. They call no-huddle 61% of the times, and the reason why that is critical is that they lost their best offensive lineman, the guard, Sam Cosmi, the right guard, who is responsible for blocking one Mr. Jalen Carter, a.k.a. Baby Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that in order to slow down the Eagles' pass rush, they definitely are going to have to call plays at the line, you know, do more, you know, no huddle, move Jalen around and change the launch points. If they do that, along with some misdirections, they have a chance in this game. I think that's the X factor in this game.
All right, so with that being said, Remy, who wins the game? Who is headed into Super Bowl 59?
My heart says the Washington Commanders, you know, but my head says, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles have a better overall team. You know, I mean, Washington is the third worst, you know, run defense, you know, in the NFL, you know, giving up just under 140 yards a game. You know, both games were very, very close games. I mean, the Thursday night game in Philly, you know, Jaden Daniels was dinged up, you know, coming off a rib injury that he had against Carolina. I think he only had about 3 days rest. The last game in Washington was a classic, 36-33. So, like a true Washington fan out in the wilderness, I'm going to go with my heart. And I'm going to say that Washington wins a very close game and moves on to the Super Bowl.
Boy, Remy, you shocked me. Paul, with all that being said, who wins the game and who heads to Super Bowl 59?
I think the mission for us is simple. Stick to what we do, and that's running the football. I think when you approach this considering that Saquon alone has almost almost 300 yards against that Washington defense. Yes, they play tough. Yes, they're well coached. But hat on a hat, personnel to personnel, as Remy said, we are the more talented team. And in that scenario, it's about execution. It's about playing to the competition that you have, not looking past them, giving them due regard, because this is a division rival. And I can tell you, living here and just seeing the excitement and the buzz amongst people from the DMV area, it is tremendous. I can't even go in the gym with my Philadelphia Eagles hat on. But that being said, I think we will probably see a situation where you have a highly competitive game. We get to the fourth quarter, that defense straps up, that offense is more effective. You know, after committing ourselves to running the ball, we'll get a break and we can actually win this game by a touchdown. So I'm going with the Eagles.
What's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
Cold but no snow.
All right. I don't
report.
It should be in the high 30s.
Oh, high. Okay. I thought it was going to be worse.
All right. So for me, the X factor,
it's not.
The S factor for me is going to be the weather, right? You know, we haven't seen. We saw Jalen in Tampa dominating. We saw him in the dome in Detroit dominating. The weather for me is going to be the deciding factor in this game. If the game is cold, we have not seen Jaden Daniels perform in that kind of condition just yet, or consistently enough.
In 30-degree weather.
Yeah, or in frigid conditions.
You need to stop your home. Washington is not in California here.
No. But
they played several cold games this year against quality opposition. But continue.
How cold?
This cold and worse. But
it's 9 degrees. It's 9 degrees in the evening here. It's cold. Philadelphia is only an hour and a half from us.
So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm just saying he's been in Tampa. He's been in the dome in Detroit. Let's see what happens tomorrow. We've seen the Eagles play last week in snowy conditions. I mean, they're at home. They're comfortable. They're sleeping in their own beds. They're gonna be fine. I want to see the best Super Bowl possible. And I think the Eagles are gonna, if they get there, will be the best Super Bowl. As good as Jaden Daniels has been all year, I think this is where the ride ends. I think he's outperformed every expectation so far this year. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles at home, riding Saquon, I think should be enough to get there. It should be a good game if the Eagles, come out the gate slow and Jaden, jump on them 2 touchdowns, then we might see a different game. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles should be able to handle Jaden Daniels led Washington Commanders team. You're saying something, Remy?
No. I was just saying that I don't think the weather is an X factor because both teams are in the Northeast. The weather is virtually the same. But I think the Eagles are the better team. There's no question about it, a better roster. I just think Washington has the edge at coaching and quarterback. But that's it. It's a close game. I mean, both these teams, they know each other personnel-wise and scheme-wise. It's going to be a very close game.
Let's see.
I think we're in for a good game.
Let's hope so. Talking about good games, the Kansas City Chiefs host the Buffalo Bills in what many, Nick Wright calls the Kansas City Invitational. We feel like we get this game. These two teams they play almost every year. This feels like the Colts Patriots rivalry from a couple decades back. I mean, these two teams, I wouldn't say they don't like each other, but there is a lot of playoff history there. It seems to be. The rival don't seem as hostile as maybe a division rival, but there is definitely bad blood between these two teams. Paul, let me backtrack a little bit to last week's game with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens heading up to Buffalo and losing another heartbreaking playoff game in heartbreaking fashion. I mean, the narrative is that Lamar Jackson is just not a playoff performer. He comes up small in the playoffs year after year after year. Paul, let me start with you. How much of that game you chalk up to Lamar Jackson didn't give in his best effort, or that was just drops by Andrews?
I mean, honestly, I can't put that game on Lamar. For me, yes, he had the turnovers in the first half. And that would have put them in the situation that they ended up in. But he came out in that second half and more than performed enough or well enough to get his team back in the game, if not to win it. The drops by Andrews, I mean, let's call it what it is. He's one of the more sure-handed players on that team. He's always come through as far as being able to score a touchdown. I think he leads the team. He broke the season touchdown record for the Ravens. And in a clutch situation where they needed him to actually just grab onto a ball that was put right in the bread basket, he fumbled it. Not to mention the turnover that he was a part of a few minutes before. Like the narrative around Lamar is, and truth be told, he might be a 3-time MVP. And not being able to say that you've moved on to even being a Super Bowl, all of that don't matter. And it's just unfortunate, but it comes with the territory when you're that talented.
I don't know how it doesn't matter. I don't know how you're a 3-time MVP and he's gonna be the only 3-time MVP to never even played in a Super Bowl. Remy, do you think this is a narrative that Lamar should care about? Do you think it's a narrative that will be like the Dan Marino narrative, where very good player but just never got to the big one?
Dan Marino did get to the big one.
Well, in his first year, but never got back. Never won the big one.
But anyway, so you're saying Lamar. I don't put this one on Lamar. I think the fumble was huge in the first half. The interception that he threw, the Bills didn't get any points off of it. And then the Mark Andrews fumble when they're moving the ball was big also. What is interesting is that the theme for all these divisional games is that the teams that made the mistakes were the teams that lost. The Texans outgained the Chiefs. The Lions outgained Washington. The Ravens outgained the Bills. As a matter of fact, the Bills did not make the Ravens punt. But I guess you don't have to when you turn the ball over 3 times. I think that Lamar played very well in the second half. He brought the team back. They were within 1 score. The 2-point conversion of tying the game. And, that begs the question that when they were down, after getting the touchdown, they were down 21-6. They scored a touchdown to make it 21-12. And then John Harbaugh decided to go for 2. And the failure of that 2-point conversion turned out to be huge, because if they had just settled for 1 and said, okay, 21-13, the last drive when they scored, it would have just been a Justin Tucker kick to tie the game and to go into overtime. And the way that game was unfolding, the majority of the points that the Bills had scored was in the first half. The Bills only scored 2 field goals in the second half. So you'd think that, going into overtime, Baltimore had the momentum and was probably looking good to win that game. So, it's a game of inches, a really well-played game, but unfortunately, Ravens came up short. So
looking forward to tomorrow's game. The Ravens, the Bills Chiefs. I think this is part 4 in the playoffs.
Part 4, yeah.
Mouth-watering football expected tomorrow in the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium of Arrowhead. Let's run the tail of the tape, Paul. Who has the edge at quarterback? We have the 2-time MVP, the 3-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, consensus best player in the game, versus Josh Allen, who many people think is the MVP for this season. Who has the edge at quarterback?
I think just considering this season, and then statistically speaking, it's easily Josh Allen. He has, done a great job of cutting back on the turnovers. Look, Mahomes is Mahomes. It doesn't mean he's not the best quarterback in the league. He's going about his business completely differently. But as far as just performance, statistically, I have to go with Allen by a hair.
That one is controversial. Remy, you agree? Josh Allen, you'd give Josh Allen the edge at quarterback in this game?
Well, you said the thing about it, in answering a question like this, you have to be clear. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about body?
Who has the edge at quarterback? Who has the edge at quarterback in this game?
Well, if we're talking about have the edge at quarterback in this game, all right, I'd give KC, because one of the things that I see with Mahomes, with Allen rather, is that he doesn't throw the ball outside the numbers. They rely a lot on the tight ends and a lot on Shakir. And a lot of the passes are, at the line of scrimmage. He has not been as aggressive as in years past. And I don't think a conservative approach is what is going to beat Kansas City. The Chiefs have actually started to get some of the weapons. Hollywood Brown is back. You have developed a better chemistry with Worthy. Kelsey's in playoff mode. So I expect, Mahomes to be more Mahomes-like, in the playoffs. So right now, I would give the edge at quarterback to Patrick Mahomes.
Let me stay with you here, Remy. Who has the edge in weapons? You just mentioned Travis Kelce, Pachenko. We see Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is back.
Am I allowed to say that even in terms of weapons?
No, man. Come off the fence.
No, it's not a matter of being on the fence. I really do think it's that way, because all right, in terms of tight ends, you have Travis Kelce, who people say is arguably the GOAT tight end. You still have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Worthy. You have Hollywood Brown. right? You know, Juju Smith-Schuster, you know, he's a journeyman receiver, but, you know, he's reliable. You know, I love Kareem Hunt. I love the combination of Kareem Hunt and Pacheco. You know, Mahomes' weaponry is solid. On the other hand, the narrative that, you know, Josh Allen doesn't have weapons, I think is false, because Cook is an excellent running back. And you also have Davis is also another one. Coleman at receiver, along with Amari Cooper, Shakir, both tight ends, Kincaid and Knox are solid.
Kincaid.
I mean Kincaid, and it's really hard for me to say which group is better, because I think both groups are that even. So the way I see it is, neither quarterback has the excuse of, or either fan base has the excuse of saying, well, you know, if my QB had more weapons, blah blah blah. I don't think that applies here. I think they're both really evenly matched in terms of weapons. I mean, if I had to flip a coin, I would say the Bills, because I mean Allen has had his weapons for the whole season and maybe have better chemistry. But we're really splitting hairs.
Paul, you agree?
I go to Bills, and it's a very small margin. I think I definitely like Remy's point about, you know, Allen having his weapons and having more synergy. Kansas City has pieces. It's a matter of them being able to execute. The Bills have been executing, and on that merit, I'm giving them the edge. I don't think it's a question of them not having the caliber of weapons that KC has. It's really about execution on the day.
My only question is, didn't they trade for Amari Cooper for him to be a solid piece of the puzzle? I have not seen Amari. I think Amari Cooper is missing. I don't even know if he's still on the Bills.
He's been injured. I don't know. That's a problem.
I don't know. I think that's one of the worst trades we've seen all season. He's really done nothing for the Bills since getting there. But anyway, Paul, let me stay with you here, Paul. Offense and defensive line. Which team has the edge where offensive line and defensive lines are concerned?
I think O-line is the easiest question you've asked me. The Buffalo Bills, that O-line is a bunch of monsters. Everybody's 6'7" or more. And as far as just them being a whole bunch of mountain men, they've been productively only second to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that says a lot. So offensive line, the Bills. D-line, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. What's understood don't need to be said. Chris Jones and company gets after you. And then they have the Mad Scientist there, pretty much running the show behind the scenes in the D coordinator, that has those guys in a situation where somehow, some way, they just mix up being aggressive and being passive at the perfect time. So, yeah, that's my bet.
So you're saying the Kansas City Chiefs has the best line play?
D-line. They have the best D-line.
So the Bills have the best offensive line and the Chiefs have the best D-line.
Correct.
Okay. Remy, let me go. Andy Reid versus Matt Dermott. I mean, we've seen Andy Reid 3 Super Bowls. We've seen him seven championships.
Don't do that to McDermott.
No comparison.
We still have to ask comparison. As a coaching staff, Andy Reid coaching staff versus a Buffalo Bills coaching staff that has been very consistent since Matt Dermott got there. I think 5 straight AFC East championships, perennial playoff performers, and always seem to coming up short against this team. You know, is this a no-brainer when you talk about who have the tail of the tape?
I mean, I wouldn't. It's unfair to compare Sean McDermott to Andy Reid or the Bills coaching staff, because when you think of the Chiefs, you have arguably the best offensive mind in the history of the sport in Andy Reid, and then you have arguably the best assistant coach in Steve Spagnuolo on the defensive side. So I mean, those are really massive coaching icons, which gives the Chiefs the advantage and have them prepared to play in every game, every situation, right? That being said, I mean, I think Sean McDermott in his own right has done a fantastic job with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I like what he has done, but he has always come up short in against the Chiefs in the playoffs. I think if the Bills win this game and go to the Super Bowl, I think that this does something for Sean McDermott. It catapults him to another tier, another stratosphere, and people can look at him as he's not just another good coach. Like he's now flirting with being a great coach. because if he gets to the Super Bowl, there's always a chance that he can win it. I like, the offensive coordinator. I think is Brady. His name is Joe Brady. Not Tom. Joe Brady. I like what he has done with Josh Allen, getting him to play more like a point guard. Yes, they still have him run, but at the same time, feature Cook, have Josh spread the ball around, and it has reaped benefits. I mean, I was one of the people that believed that when they got rid of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, they would still be okay because they still had the line and they still had the pieces, and most importantly, they still had Josh Allen. Once you have that franchise quarterback and you know how to, get him to be that force multiplier, which Josh Allen is, everything will be fine. So I think the Bills have done a good job coaching, great job coaching, but I just think, the Chiefs have the edge.
You spent 10 minutes a while ago explaining why it's unfair that we're comparing.
Well, tell me when to stop. I just try to give the listeners the money's worth.
All right. So with that being said, who will join the Philadelphia Eagles? With that being said, who will join the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah.
Paul, let me start with you, Paul, first. Who wins? Bills Chiefs. Part 4.
Well, let me put it this way. I think this is going to be a game of wills and wits. But I also believe in the words of the famous Ric Flair: to be the man, you have to beat the man, right? Josh Allen has been here, this is his 4th time going up against a quarterback who he can give you a 2-piece, he can give you a filet mignon, he can give you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Any way you want it, Patrick Mahomes has been able to win games. And if the referees don't get involved, I think Buffalo has a chance. But I'm looking at it this time around, as well as the Bills play, I feel as if Josh is going to regress to trying to win the entire game by himself when he comes into a spot. And that's when Spags and company will have him. I think the KC offense is not what's to be feared here. It's just the coordinated efforts of KC's defense and their performance throughout the season, which has been glorious. In fact, last season into this season,
Paul, quickly.
I think they pull off. They'll pull off an epic victory. So I'm going with Kansas City.
Remy, quickly. Who joins the Eagles in the Super Bowl?
I think the Chiefs are going to go. I think they're the better team in these situations. More balanced team. I think it comes down to the defense. I like the Chiefs' defense as the main factor in winning this game. I don't trust the Bills' run defense, and I think it's going to come down to ball control. I think the Chiefs win a close game.
All right, I want to pick the Chiefs. The Chiefs were my preseason Super Bowl pick. But for some strange reason, I just feel this is the year for Josh Allen. I just think this is the year for Josh Allen. I need to make up some points in the picks, so I am going with the Buffalo Bills to pull off the upset in the AFC Championship game and represent. It's Bills time. It's Bills time. I'm Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia, stay with me, Bills Mafia. The Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. We're gonna get an epic Super Bowl. No team has ever three-peated, and if the Patriots couldn't repeat, Patrick Mahomes can't repeat. And this is where we end. Jerome's good iron for today. Wow. It's we're in for some fireworks tomorrow. We're gonna have 2 really good games, and I'm really confident that both games are gonna go down to the wire. Jaden Daniels is gonna lose a heartbreaker, and Patrick Mahomes is gonna lose a heartbreaker in Travis Kelce's final game. And that's how I see it.
From what you hear, Jerome today, it's the Chiefs and Eagles in the finals.
No, we've seen that Super Bowl already. We've seen Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl already.
You're gonna see it again because that's where Jerome was wrong. It's the first Jerome was wrong next week.
Let's see. Bills Eagles sound just as good. I like Bills Eagles.
Okay, so that's where we have to wrap it, gentlemen. Thanks again, Paul, Remy, and Jerome, for another interesting evening of NFL with Jerome Goodine. With that, we'll take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
you can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? Geoland Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. Geoland Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex We're working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. And I have a co-host for this segment, the Splash segment, where we talk about everything swimming. She's not new to the studio, but she's new to the position of co-host. It's Gillian Millwood, national coach and coach of Y Speedos and coach of Campion College. And coach of where else?
Stella Maris, hopefully soon.
Stella Maris, hopefully soon. Which school is that? Stella Maris, hopefully soon.
Prep school.
Hopefully soon. I only know Stella Maris. I don't know the hopefully soon section. Right. But we're talking swimming now, and we'll character swimmer Avi Trump and her coach Jordy Goters from Giant Swim Club in Aruba join us on the Splash segment to share what's been happening in Aruba and in the Giant Swim Club. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
That's Avi.
Yes.
And Jordy Goters, are you with us? We're gonna try and sort out Avi, Jordy's connection. He's online, but we're not connecting with him. So let's start with you, Javi. You're from Aruba, but you're in college now. Tell us before we go there. Introduce yourself to Jamaica. Tell us who you are and what's it like swimming for Aruba.
Well, I'm Avi Trump. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently in Aruba still, and I'm going this year to swim in college. And yeah, it's been an honor to represent Aruba in the national team.
Okay, so you'll be a freshman in college. Which college will you be going to?
Northern Colorado.
And any reason why you selected that college?
Oh, well, I chose Northern Colorado because of my interaction with the head coach Lisa and assistant coach Chad. And also I had absolutely blessed with the opportunity to talk to Kira, who's an amazing swimmer there. I could tell right away how motivated and passionate they are about helping athletes and improving and grow, and that's exactly the kind of environment I want to be in.
Okay.
Hey Avi, Coach Jillian here. The school, and you just mentioned Kira just now. Kira is from Cayman, one of the national record holders. So in terms of that kind of transition, going from, a swimmer here and traveling just as a swimmer, what are you most looking forward to as a freshman?
Wow, I would say to learn from the coaches and the teammates, and besides
that academic, I would say, yeah, I learned that too, of course.
Awesome. So we got some background on you, which we find to be pretty cool, about you starting in the water from synchronized swimming, sorry, artistic swimming. I'm still in my
Yes.
old age. I'm showing my age. My apologies. Transitioning from artistic swimming to swimming. Can you, just go through that a little bit and what values you think both sports share and what you took from artistic swimming into competitive swimming?
Well, I don't think the mindset between artistic and competitive swimming differ much. In artistic swimming, the training was intense. You needed full commitment, determination, and persistence, and so much more. So I would say qualities I believe in every athlete in any sport needs to have to succeed. So in terms of mindset, they're quite similar. Yeah, the transition, I would say it was really hard. I wasn't used to swimming. I was used to swimming maybe 500 to 1,000 meters a day, and that's just warm up in competitive swimming.
Yep.
So it was a difficult transition, I would say. Yeah.
What motivated the switch?
Well, I didn't see myself continuing long term with artistic swimming. The original plan for me was actually to continue my studies in the Netherlands.
Okay.
But I actually started. I competed in swimming only competed when I was 14 till I was 18. But when I was 18, I started actually training with Jardy.
Right.
So I really loved it, like the competition, the adrenaline, the vibe when there's a competition. It was really fun, and so yeah, I had I have a really special person told me that to give it a shot and see how far I can go, and yeah, I did that. So here I am.
When you competed in artistic swimming, did you compete solo, duet, or in a group?
I competed in solo and as a group. I'm a gold medalist in Sesikan in 2000, I think 23, and we competed. Last competition was at CSA Games, in which we won 3 bronze medal.
And do we have Jody on the line?
Yeah, I've been here. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Awesome.
I'm here with Gillian Mailwood, one of Jamaica's national coach. She's not a greater coach as I am, but
I know Gillian very well. How are you, Gillian?
Hey, Jordy, you good?
Yeah, we're here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
But and Jody, and is this the first? We understand that Avi would have gotten a scholarship to study overseas. Is this the first swimmer from your club to gain such a scholarship?
Technically, no. My younger brother Patrick, when I founded the club in 2020, that was right during the COVID period. He was training full time with me on Aruba. And from the moment he got here, when the club was founded, all the way to when he left, I want to say halfway through 2021, in that period, he got a scholarship offer to swim at South Carolina. So it's a little bit different with him, though, where he was already a scholarship athlete at the University of Denver. And he just came to Aruba while he was in the transfer process. So he was going from one university to another. So
Right.
Avi is the first that graduated high school here on Aruba, and who I worked with for now a year and worked on trying to get the college attention and all that. So it's, yes, the first one from scratch. Absolutely.
Right. You said you started the club during the COVID. What was it like starting the club at that time? I mean, there was no sport going on. How did you start it then?
So we actually founded the team in January, 2 months before COVID. So obviously we couldn't predict that it was going to happen.
Right.
So 2 months into it, when COVID hit and we had to go into an extended break, the team was brand new, and I had to convince the team parents, hey, let's wait this out. Let's see when we can pick it up again. I know everyone was excited. So after 2 months of training, which looked, it was at that point when everyone was new, I think we were swimming maybe only 2 times a week in a 15-meter pool in somebody's backyard.
Okay.
So the trainings were very minimal to begin with. So it's not like we got a huge setback. If it were to happen again now, 5 years later, it would definitely be a big difference, and we would take a very big hit. But at the time, when we had only just started, it was like, yes, we started, but we just restarted again back in July when all the COVID protocols were lifted a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, Jordy. I recall back when COVID hit, and there were a number of kids who, whether the school said, we can't afford to give you scholarship anymore. Can you just go a little bit into detail as to what happened with Patrick in terms of why that shift was caused? Is it, moving from the program? Because, after the first year, some athletes, what they thought was a good program for them turned out not to be. Or just the circumstances of budget cuts and how training would have been and such.
Yeah, no, so for sure I can go into that a little bit. Of course, it's a longer story than I think we have time for.
Yeah.
But the gist of it was that the school did have COVID protocols in place as well, and they felt that Patrick and his roommates did not abide by those. So they had asked him to, asked him politely that he would no longer be a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of made his decision a little bit easier, because I think maybe a week before that had happened, he was already considering transferring, just like how you mentioned that a lot of swimmers were coming to realizations that maybe they weren't where they needed to be. So the timing just kind of worked out, and that was just the validation that he needed that he was gonna find a new home for himself. What the pandemic did was make it more difficult, like time-wise, because he was hoping to get started immediately in that fall of 2020, but it only happened like a year later. So he took an unintentional gap year because of it.
All right, let's bring Avi back into the conversation. Describe the period 2023 to 2025 in terms of you learning and growing in the sport.
Oh, well, I've learned a lot. Well, I learned that competitive swimming is so much more than just moving your arms and kicking your feet. It's incredibly technical. Before I transitioned, I didn't realize the precision and that goes into every detail. You have to keep track of things like how many dolphin kicks you do off the wall, how many strokes it takes to cover 25 or 50 meter, and how to make every movement as efficient as possible. So it was definitely an eye-opening year.
What was your perception going into competitive swimming, and how different is reality from your perception?
I don't understand the question.
What you thought when you decided to go into competitive swimming? What you thought it was like, and what did you find out? How different was it from what you thought you would have seen or experienced?
Well, before in artistic swimming, they said to me a lot that it's a lot of swimming, a lot of distance, that I'm not gonna like it, or I'm not gonna get used to it, and they're right. I still don't like it, but the competition wise, I love it, absolutely love it. So
what's your best stroke? What's your preferred stroke, and what's your best performance at a competition?
I would say 100-meter breast, long course meter, and short course yards, and 50 free long course meter.
Right. And what was your best performance at any competition?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I really don't know.
Pick the one that you're most proud of to date, or maybe just in 2024.
Yeah, the 102 short course yard for breaststroke.
That quick.
Okay.
That quick. Wonderful. Coach Jordy, in taking an athlete from one discipline to another one, which, of course, has different elements, still focused on strength and power and efficiency and performance, but what was the experience like for you to help an athlete transition there? Because from what I'm hearing from both of you, she's talented, and there's something that you saw, her hold on the water when she does her sculling, her the height that she gets, or even in warm-up when you'd have seen her do the little 500 swim. But what did you see that really, clued you in on her, and how was that transition for you, at least as a coach, to get her to where she's at?
Yeah, no. So she had mentioned earlier, she did a few swim meets from the moment she was 14, just only the swim meets. So I've seen her compete before. And like she mentioned, in warm up of artistic swimming, they would do whatever, 1,000, and that was predominantly freestyle. So when I would see her compete, her freestyle really was what stood out at the time. So I already knew, that I had someone very explosive on my hands. Also, there was a period maybe in 2022 where we wanted, my team, we wanted to see if we could start a water polo division, and she came to the tryouts for that too. And again, there she was the standout athlete, even amongst the male athletes that came to tryouts. So she was just getting really high out of the water, as you mentioned there, Jillian, with her what do you call the egg beater kick, bringing her just a meter out of the water and throwing the ball with such power. So when she, I didn't actually know that she was going to make the transition. I remember showing up to a practice. I think it was the first practice of the season, and I happened to show up late, and they were already doing warm up. And I saw her in the lane with all of my senior swimmers. And I said, "Oh, hey, what you doing here?" She said, "I'm here now." I said, "Oh, you're here to stay?" She said, "Yeah." So, that brought a lot of excitement, because who I'd seen and what I've already seen of her, I'm like, okay, now I get to work with that. And just knowing that all she's really ever done, like I mentioned there, was freestyle.
Right.
We started working just into the strokes and the progression, the improvement in her butterfly, backstroke, and breaststroke has just been insane, to where now, in the short course pool, she holds national records in all 4 of those strokes. She holds national records in IM. So, comparing herself to swimmers from Aruba's history that did this, full time for 12 or plus years.
Yeah.
And she just showed up and has been doing it for 1 year, and she just is able to compete with those times and better is already amazing. So it's been, I want to say I got lucky, and it's been an easy transition because of how much of a hard worker she's already used to the hard work. So that part we got lucky with. She's correct there when she mentioned earlier that she still doesn't like distance. Those are the toughest workouts for us to get through, that's for sure. When, if anything above a 200 meter pops up on the whiteboard, she'll pull a face. But, you also got to give credit where it's due. She does finish the workouts, even in those situations.
Okay,
she's been fantastic to work and develop with, for sure.
Awesome.
Right. Avi, let me give you the final question. Tell me, what are some of your goals for the rest of 2025?
Yeah, I would say keep improving my times, pushing my limits. I want to compete in the highest level in competition and see how far my hard work can take me. So, yeah.
Okay, then that's Avi Avi Trump of Aruba and her coach Yardi Goters. Lady and gentlemen, thanks much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us. Okay,
take care, guys.
So we won't take a break. We'll jump right over to the National Indoor Sports Center where Wayne Walker is with the at the final game of the match between Jamaica and South Africa. That's the netball game. Wayne, good evening.
Thank you so much, Alex. We're here at the National Indoor Sports Center. The game has come to an end. In fact, it ended about 25 minutes ago, and Jamaica completed the sweep 58-47 over South Africa. The presentation ceremony is just about to get underway, but I'm joined again by Coach Van Dijk from South Africa. She's going to have a quick chat with me. Coach Van Dijk, commiseration. Your girls put up a strong fight tonight. I'm sure like they did for the previous two games. In the end, though, it just wasn't enough. The Jamaicans were just too strong for you.
Definitely, the Jamaicans put up quite a performance, and they are ranked number 3 and possibly number 2 now for a reason. Really great start, and it's important for us to play against the Asian company. I think we didn't have a great start. If we had a different start, it would have been a different ball game today. But the players just never gave up, and it was so easy for us to just clean up and just let the Morton go. But we kept that Morton tight all the way to the end, and that gives us the opportunity to start working towards the Morton. Let me tell you one thing: this is such a young team we're building here. Where they're starting off, and where the Jamaicans are at the moment. There's a few things I think that should be very, very worried about what we will be doing in the future.
Yes. In what areas were the Jamaicans better than you?
Definitely on the attack. I think it's in the consistency of what they put through on the court. That's brilliant. And we are inconsistent. We can run with it. We can just not do it consistently enough. That's where you've seen that 10 points plus deficit coming into play at the end of the day. So they keep their center passes. They are so clinical on their attack, which means that anything that you do, it becomes very difficult to manage if you can't keep that together. So if you lose 2 or 3 more center passes than what I do, they just go back more than a point. It can run away from his best.
What do you think about the crowd support?
It's fantastic. I do think that the disadvantage is that they should have allowed the sound system so that we can at least hear the umpire score. I think to have a more fair environment, we should at least be able to hear it, especially with the rules of there. So I love this crowd. I think it's amazing. I mean, it's just fantastic, and it's such a great experience for us. Even this experience, I can for their team.
Well, as much as you love the crowd and the support and the sort of involvement that they had in the game, it did affect your girls at some point.
Well, obviously it's true, though. That's why you have home ground advantage. But remember, next year Jamaica hopefully coming to South Africa. I have heard that they're not too interested to come, but we are hoping that we can give them a little bit of the South African culture when they come and visit us.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Coach Van Dijk from South Africa. As you mentioned, the northern side of National Indoor Sports Center can be very, very deafening, and I'm sure our listeners were struggling to hear what Coach Van Dijk had to say. But one of the things she pointed out was that they would love to make it to come to South Africa, but we understand that the Jamaicans are not interested in coming here, but they want to continue the negotiation. Not sure what would have caused that sort of reticence on the part of the Jamaicans. But let's see. So they're trying to get the Jamaicans over. And we'll be in a better position to host them. I'm trying to get a chat with the Jamaica coach. It's going to be difficult because they're having the and the coach, like the girls, are out in the middle of the court, and it's going to be a little difficult to get to them at the moment. But the final score is 8-47. The Jamaicans needed the sweep to sort of get significant points. And now that they've done it, as you heard Coach Van Dijk said, it could very well put the Jamaicans up to number 2 in the world, which would have been a major to mean that the only team ahead of them at the moment is Australia, the world champions and the perennial world champions, and a team that has really dominated the sport throughout the years. So it doesn't feel like the coach, Ashurbe Henry, at the moment, Alric. Because, as I say, the presentation is going on, and it's going to be a
little and it's a bit challenging hearing you over the PA system. So we'll try and. But you can try and interview them separately, and we'll play it later during the week. Okay, so that was Wayne Walker at the National Indoor Sports Center with the final match of the Sunshine Series between West Jamaica and South Africa. Jamaica would have swept the series 3-0, and we will continue in our swimming segment, which I still have my co-host with me for this segment, Gillian Millwood. Gillian, the Issa High School and tertiary swim meet was yesterday. Exciting times for you. I know your team would have been one of the dominant team over the years. But tell me overall your thoughts on how the meet went.
I'm excited for swimming based on how yesterday went. What you find is it's not, in terms of the scores, not one school is scoring any huge amount of points. But you see where the competition is spread, across. We have fantastic swimmers coming out of Mobay as usual, We have Leanna Wainwright, who is maintaining her place on the top of the table in the schools swimming. We have actually the competition this year for 17 and over, and especially the boys, was pretty tight. I think Akeem Nicely from Kingston College represented them very well yesterday in his events. I know Campion was missing some people, Holy Pass schools were missing people given, the registration requirements and such. But I think overall, as we're seeing with like the JC's 12 and under boys, doing a really good job. Coach LeBon doing really well. The Wilma's girls with their cohort of club swimmers doing really well, getting themselves amassing some wonderful points, especially with their 17 and over girl as well, doing their breaststroke, doing really well in their breaststroke and IMs yesterday. Awesome job. Immaculate's 12 and under girls as usual. Addison doing a really, really awesome job. Hillel's 13-14 girls with Kia Alert and Isabella Wong doing a fantastic job as well. I'm happy. I mean, kind of grudge some people because, we're used to having persons attracted to the Campion brand, but what we're seeing, if you're not at Cornwall, you're at Mobay High, you're at Alvernia, you're at Arden. We had some standout swimmers from Arden as well. St. Andrews did a really good job. Their 15-16 girls medley relay yesterday got the record for that event. So really proud of them. No matter which club they train at, they did a really good job at showing out for the school teams, because the school team brings a lot of pride for everybody.
So you're saying that you're seeing a lot of swimmers coming through, but we have Coach Hill online. One of the winning coach, the coach of Immaculate Conception High. Coach Hill, good evening. Welcome to it. Chanel Hill, right? Coach Hill, good evening.
Good evening. Good night.
All right. Coach Hill, first up again, congratulations on the victory. We also have Coach Rapley online as well. Coach Rapley, good evening to you, the coach of Wolmer's High. Let me start with you, Coach Hill. Tell us you were able to maintain your trophy, winning with 434.5 points. Tell us about your swimmers and what ensure that you remain on top.
Okay, good night. Okay, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the ladies on an outstanding performance yesterday. It was a great way to start off the season, and I hope they will continue to train and make 2025 a clean sweep. Now, I have had a little problem with my training session last year because of the rain and the lightning, but however, this year I had to double up and make preparation. I had morning training from 5:30 to 7, so I made sure that I had 30 minutes on. And for afternoon training, I had it from 3 to 5. I also noticed that my girls' core, they were weak, so I had them doing land training also with Coach Frank Ford. He also helped me. My every iter age group was 11-12. They consist of Addison Thomas, Leah Page Phillips, Layla Reed, and Mia Reed. They also broke 2 relay records, 11-12 freestyle relay and the medley relay. I also had Rihanna Scott. She broke 50-meter freestyle and she was also the overall age group champion for that age group. My 17 and over, they were I would say, my troublesome age group. What I normally do, I have an inter-house competition where there are 7 house competing against each other at school. I think this was held November the 27th, and that is where I really capture the girls from the upper level, that is 12th grade, 12th and 13th grade. And this was, as I said before, my weakest age group. I would normally pull them from the inter-house to join my swim team.
Right. And Coach, rapidly, let me bring you in. You Wolmers would have won the boys section with 441 points. They thrown in a certain coach, I won't call any name. But tell me, how did you do it?
Well, good night, everyone. Hard work, dedication. The boys have been working very hard individually in their own programs and also together as a school team. I think just the support from the management team and overall the school would have caused them to have this confidence, this pride in their school where they want to get this victory again and again for their school, mainly.
Okay, Coach Hill, you would have, I talked with the former coach, Teddy Hills. He said he would have assisted the team from time to time, but he was speaking highly of the relay teams. Tell us what makes the relay team so special.
Okay, so the relay team, for the 11-12 relay team, this was actually the Goodwill relay team. They would have gone to Goodwill, and I actually had a little incident at the pool because I had changed up the relay order. And one of the twins, they said, Coach, you know what? I think if we keep the Goodwill Relay team, I think we can break the record. And I normally listen to my swimmers, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you this. But if you don't if you don't break the record, I'll see you in physical education class. And and they actually did it, and they came and, oh, Coach, we did it. No, we don't have to see you. So it was a really good feeling, and they went out for also I actually had the order correct for the medley. Based on the girls' strength, I actually had the order, but for the freestyle, I mixed it up, and they weren't for it. They were saying, no, Addison is stronger in the start, so I think I like to do the turnover and stuff. So I was glad that I could have listened to them, and it was really a team effort for the relay.
Right. And Coach, rapidly, I know this is a team, the victory was a team effort, but who are some of the standout swimmers on your team?
I mean, we definitely had a lot of standout swimmers. We had Joel Sinclair for the 11-12 boys. He definitely did a lot for us. We had Walden McIntosh. I think both those boys won the High Point Trophy of the meet. We had the whole 15-17 relay teams. The relay team, they did very well. I mean, they got the record as well. And I believe I got some information that they swam the second fastest time that was ever swum at a school meet. I'm still fact-checking that, but yeah, they made us very proud. They did very well. Kabiki, Kai, Ratliff, Kabiki, Thomas, we had Walden McIntosh. We had a lot of swimmers that did well. Can't name everyone.
Right. We are fast coming to the end of the program, so I'm going to ask both of you this question. Let me start with you, rapidly. What's next for your swimmers? There are 2 other school meets coming up. How are you going to prepare your teams to ensure that you come out on top, just as you did in this one? Let me start with you, rapidly.
Something that we did differently was to have the boys that swim this club that would not train with us normally to come in and gel with the whole team. So we're going to keep that going. We're going to keep them motivated, keep them in high spirits, and hopefully that will do the trick, as well as the grace of God. We are mixed up in this. I think that should do the trick, and we should fare out well for the rest of the season.
And Coach Hill, what's next for your boys as you look ahead to the other 2 school meets?
So yes, what I started last September, I have some of them summit clubs. I've ensured that they see me at least 3 times. I also have a time trial every second Friday of the month, where I have a book and they all come and I time them. So I see that working for me. That's how I made this particular team. So I see that it worked for me. So I will continue that trend.
Okay, coach. Let me give the final word to my co-host, Gillian. Tell me what's one for your team at Campion. What's next? How are you preparing them for the other school meets? And in terms of swimming overall at the ASAJ.
A lot of I think about our issues in general. We need more kids from the grassroots. So I'm putting my attention to that. My 5 standout kids I had a upper sixth former two of them, one male, one female, who could barely get to 15 meters of our pool at school as of September last term. They swam 2 50-meter events at this. Yeah. So it's a big deal. We're big on the scholarship building. We're big on the resume building for the athletes. We had 5 total athletes who this is their first event, and showing that it's not just the club kids that can, represent their school and be a part of some winning efforts. I think where we are now, we've done an amazing job of producing athletes and producing students with amazing resumes that unfortunately they leave us earlier than planned, but that's I think that's what comes with being a platform. So proud of one for them to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, but also recognizing the role of building up kids, whether they swam in prep school or they start out fresh with us. And so that's a big deal in order to build a team and build an entire program where no matter where you train, whether you choose to go competitive club or stay at home, you can be amazing wherever you are. So that's the focus this time around for us through to 2026, and and we build up from there.
Okay, ladies, it's the clock is saying 8 o'clock. It's right at the end of the show. I want to say thanks to you all, and again, congratulations to you, Coach Hill and Coach Rapley, coming away with the girls and boys title at the ISA University High School and University Swimming Championships yesterday. That's all the time we have for you. It's all I can say now is thanks to everyone who made it possible. Wayne Walker, Joseph West Pereira, Cassius Watson, Avi Trump, Jordi Cordes, Kafia Rapley, Chanel Hill, Jerome Jarrett, Remy Evans, Paul Vaughan, my co-host Gillian Millwood, and my technical operator / production assistant Kevin Williams. All I have to say is God bless, good night. I'm Alric Swaby, and again, hope you'll be in church on Sunday, and if you don't have a church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at 159 Olympic Way. That's Tower Hill Missionary Church. God bless, good night.
Shops at Creative Building Finishes? You, the homeowner who creates luxurious spaces with our floor and wall tiles. The contractor and builder who are convinced that our ceramic tiles are right for the job. The architect and designer who make dreams come true with our wood look and porcelain tiles. Superior customer service, knowledgeable staff, inviting showroom, and you get where this is going, right? Shop 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get Creative Building Finishes.
It's all Valentine's inside at Fontana.
No bother make a love thing flop. Fontana, are your one-stop shop? Oh yes.
If you love someone, kiss. Perfumes, wines, teddy bears, and chocolates.
It's all Valentine's inside at Fontana.
Oh, Fontana.
Yes, baby, love me know you want it. Perfume, wines, teddy bears, and chocolate.
You better go off and turn up me.
Fontana, are your one-stop shop?
It's so Valentine's inside and
Valentine's for me at Fontana.
Introducing Domus Windows and Doors, Caribbean UPVC Solutions. Now open at the Summit, 16 Chelsea Avenue, Kingston 5. Order energy-efficient Solar E windows and doors that offer laminate glass for enhanced security